everyone. Welcome to the Pre-3 show here on Drop Frames with all new graphics where things will most likely mess up multiple times. Just like the current cards here that Barry has assigned to everyone. Rami, a.k.a. Koch Carnage, how's it going? Welcome to the show. How's your E3 going?
I'm good. Yeah, no, having a great time. I don't know where my little hoodie went. It teleported on to Zeke, I think. But
Oh, well, you know, it's a new show. We're
it happens.
It happens. Yeah, it's a new show. It happens. Yeah.
I do have that power.
Yeah.
I have the power of teleportation, but only with hats.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's true.
I'm the worst X-Men.
It's a weird superpower, but at least you have one. You know? What's your X-Men name? The X-Men that can teleport hats. Off top of your head, go, Zeke.
The Haberdasher.
Okay.
The Haberdasher?
Oh, the Mad
Haberdasher.
Hatter. The Mad Hatter.
The Mad Hatter's already in. I think he's already in Batman.
He's a DC
This
character.
is a great start
minor,
with these new
exactly.
graphics.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a Haberdasher though.
I don't think there is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hat trick. Oh my god.
You could be hat trick.
Oh, that's hockey though, man. That's hockey and
that's
soccer.
your thing.
Like,
That's your
everything.
costume.
That's sports. Yeah.
Then you have a hockey stick and you wear a jersey and you're hat trick. You beat people up and then you teleport a hat onto them.
persona is a little muddled. Like, are you a hat teleporter? Or are you a hockey person? Like, what's the deal?
You're Canadian. That's where you were born. Okay? You're Canadian.
It's actually not about superpower. Like somebody's shooting at you and suddenly there's a hat over their eyes and they can't see anymore. Like,
well, if your arch nemesis is Oddjob, you're great, right? Like you just teleport his hat to you and you're golden. He can't do anything.
Listen, like if playing Dungeons and Dragons all these years has taught me anything, there's no bad characters, only bad players.
Sure. Yeah. You can figure something out. You can figure something out. Yeah. All right. It looks like all the titles and everything have sorted themselves out, aka Barry fixed them. Thank you, Barry. We're gonna talk about the E3 stuff happening. Although do you guys feel like this is another like not E3 with everything being digital? Like the conferences are happening ish. There's been a lot of new conferences added to the list that wouldn't actually have been a in-person conference. I guess this question maybe is for Zeke and Rami, because me and Co usually, if not every E3, have covered it from home. Zeke, you're usually there covering it with Twitch. Rami, you're usually there doing business things. Do you miss the E3? Do you think this even is this E3? Where does this stand? Zeke, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, they're doing the best they can with what they got, but also like you got to take into account like E3 was kind of on its way out the door before any of this shit happened, you know?
True.
Like people like huge companies were not showing up to the conferences. There were, you know, years where we didn't see like, you know, whatever studio and stuff like that. And it was kind of like disheartening. I mean, it feels, and it's so hard to like, it feels like it was so hard to coordinate for these guys, seeing as how like the schedule was like not solid until like last week. You know?
I think like even Capcom was making announcements yesterday as to when their actual conferences or not conference, their showing will be, their stream will be. A lot of people are not even calling it conferences. I think showcase has become the new buzzword in the industry.
Sure.
It's all showcases now. There's not a conference. There's not a media briefing.
we'll
It's
call
showcase.
it whatever you show up to, honestly.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
I'm just ready for Papa Keeley to take the reins and be like, all right, listen.
He kind of has in somewhat.
Everybody can just show up to this, okay? Let's just have, let's make it fucking fun like we had in the past, you know? Come on,
He's
Keeley.
about 30
Come on,
seconds from standing up with a flag and just planting it on every showcase and being like, KeelyCon. That's what this is. This is all KeelyCon. I'm now leading this and I'm going to keep it going. And it's going to be like, you know, as E3 kind of phases out, as it tries to find its place and fails, you know, Jeff, who is clearly at home with all this stuff.
Yeah.
to just raise up and keep it going in this kind of like virtual con, which in a lot of ways with today's world makes a lot of sense to have a virtual con, because it's the kind of thing where, everyone can go to it. It's a lot of news and interesting stuff in one place. You don't have to travel. And I mean, especially with COVID and everything, that's kind of huge. But I think a lot of people are starting to see a lot of people don't travel anyway to E3 and stuff. So the more kind of virtual, stuff they can get in there, the better it is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So
there's pros and cons to it for sure. And I think a lot of it just depends on the person.
And then
for me, this is great. It's all online.
Then what's going to happen is Keighley is going to start renting a convention place in Texas. And he's going to be like, we're going to do KeighleyCon, but also have this big convention here. And then he's going to phase out the online stuff.
He's going to go to the Gaylord in Dallas Grapevine.
That's right.
The home of
We're going to go full circle.
Yep. And it's all going to start right back where it started. That's
right where it started.
That's the big plan. Right? Right, Rami? Is that
playing the long game right now?
Is that what you're hearing, Rami? In the industry? The industry insider?
Please no. No, E3 is a bit of a mess. I mean, the ESA, which is the software association that's behind E3, they've been trying, but I don't think they know what E3 is or what it has to be to survive. They've been experimenting before COVID. They're experimenting with letting audiences onto the floor, making a more public showcase, moving towards the Gamescom model, then moving away from the Gamescom model, then doing the digital thing, and then it's like everything they try it. And I say this with all the respect to all the lovely people that work at ESA, but they've just kind of been fucking it up, in every possible way.
Rami, they're consistent. Okay, last year they leaked everyone's personal details, and then this year they also leaked everyone's personal details. So they're really, they're doing a great job there. Being
the backend has press people create avatars, but then doesn't have a way to say that you're he or she. Like they literally, this is like when I was like 7, I was making websites where you could. It's not even not keeping up with the thing. It's like they reverted back to only men. Which how did that happen? Like it's just the level of basic competency that would be required to do a digital showcase. I've done one in my life. It was called Game Dev World. It was a games conference, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be spectacularly good at this. Like, you can start a show with the name tags the wrong way around and fix it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's all possible.
I mean, that's like an amateur show and shouldn't be,
Honestly, no one should watch a show like that.
No one should. They probably would, because that's what's acceptable these days on Twitch. That shithole of
standards
platform,
are just plummeted.
Yeah.
But E3, E3 as a show, this is backed by the largest publishers in the world. This is supposed to be our look at what we can do. We're rendering stuff at incredible precision, but we can't build a basic website for the press to look at. Like what is happening? Why is this group representing us as an industry? They can't get this right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the industry are kind of asking that question, like, why is ESA in charge? They're really good at their lobbying stuff. They're really good at their political influence. They're really good at making sure that games have the right to freedom of speech and all that, which, having those rights in the US is really important to the industry at large. But when it comes to just throwing a party, let Jeff do it. Seriously.
Let Papa Jeff plan the parties. Okay.
I can't call him Papa Jeff, but yes, let Jeff do it. He knows how to do it. You can call him Papa Jeff. I can't. I don't know. I've known the guy for too long. It's like calling a good friend Papa. It doesn't.
Call him Brother Jeff.
Brother Jeff.
Brother Jeff.
Yeah.
Brother Jeff.
As long as he's still in the house of Doritos or whatever, right? He was the Dorito Pope. Wasn't that a meme back in the day?
It was back in the day. But you know what? This guy was a visionary. Because if you look at influencers today, that's basically what they're doing. They just have to put hashtag ad on it. This guy was a visionary. He was selling out way before selling out was a big deal.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, Rami, a question for you. E3, for a lot of us, obviously, we watch trailers, we get hyped, we get excited for, the future of gaming is the tagline. For the industry itself, it's the deal season, right? It's where you're meeting in a lot of different bars and or hotel rooms to discuss business and make plans about games coming out years from now. Where does that stuff happen now? Is that all in a Zoom call 24/7 nonstop?
Yeah.
Is it centered around this week? Like, do you have a schedule for this week when it comes to meetings?
Yeah, a lot of people still have a schedule for this week. I basically went and said I'm not doing any meetings this week. I did meetings this week. I will do meetings the weeks after E3, but I just went, you know what? I don't need that to be now. I think a lot of people are still doing a lot of meetings around this week. Obviously, press is going to be a big thing. Media is going to be a big thing. So it's a little more spread out this year, which is nice. But yeah, I think the dealings and the business makings, they're happening. Like sort of like the financial pattern of the industry still like focuses around here. So there's budgets, there's money, there's conversations about what games are going to get made, what games are going to get signed, what games are going to be where for next year's. That like all of those discussions are happening.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be happening necessarily while we're yelling about what Warner Bros is doing or what Squeenix is releasing this year.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, honestly. I do miss the hotels and the bars and the people. I genuinely do.
Yeah, I mean, that's like cons, right? You don't go to a con to walk around the show floor. You go to a con to drink in the hotel lobby, right? Like that's
right.
That's where the fun is.
For 2 years now, we haven't heard who is the idiot that fell into the swimming pool in the back of the Figueroa Hotel.
Sure.
Which is sort of like, it's like an important part of E3. Like somebody needs to fall in the swimming pool because they got really drunk or got pushed into it. And like they're the one for that year.
Yeah.
And this year, there's nobody. It's really disappointing.
Zeke, how many times have you been that guy?
Man. I mean, specifically that only one of those.
Okay.
That specific.
But you didn't
example.
fall in. You just wanted to go swimming, right? I mean, that's what I.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
With my clothes and my phone.
Yeah. 100%. That's how.
And my wallet and everything. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just how it is.
Just a quick question. Do you guys know what E3, like the 3 E's stand for?
Electronic.
You guys all good on that?
Yes, I do. I won't spoil it for the others. Code looks
Code?
very confused.
It's a trick question.
No.
No, it's not a trick question.
I'm worried for a moment. Okay, it's not a trick question.
Because sometimes it's just get called something so long that you forget what it is. It's Electronic Entertainment Expo, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what it stands for. The code not.
Oh. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet you there's a lot of people that didn't know that, to be honest. No one calls it the Electronic Entertainment Expo anymore. It's E3.
You also have the opposite. Everybody thinks that IGN means something.
Ah, shit, Rami. What does IGN not stand for anything?
No,
that was the only domain
I
they
have
could get.
never looked
All the
into
rest were taken. That was it. Just IGN.com. That's all they had. So they bought it and decided to make a.
Very long ago, it had a full name. It was something like Imaginary Gaming Network, but then eventually they just went to IGN because they thought the name was silly. It wasn't meant as an abbreviation. Like, yes, so it's an abbreviation, but it doesn't mean that.
That's like CNN then, right? Like you don't call it what it stands. It's CNN.
It's not incompetent gaming nerds. You be nice.
Well, I mean, that happens a lot. Like ESPN did it. They dropped their acronym. KFC dropped their acronym.
Yeah.
One day you get to the point where you don't need a full name anymore and you can just abbreviate. And that's when you know you've made it.
That's true.
I wonder what Oreo stands for.
I got nothing. I
would tell you guys what CO stands for, but I don't want to get banned off Twitch.
Okay.
Oh God.
Okay.
The THA in my name was actually the THA in my name was actually a clan tag, StarCraft days. A really long time ago. Yeah. It was THA. It's not the, but then like a 7-year-old thinks it's cool. It's actually THA, which was a group of people that cracked video games. So we could illegally play them.
Nice.
And then I went into the games industry and I kept the name.
I mean, that's probably
the best part. The best part about this is that when Rami told this story on Drop Frames a few months ago, I actually Googled it, and it turns out none of that is accurate, and it actually was Da just being cool, and this is all made up. But it's okay, because it's still pretty cool.
That's true. Might be true.
No, that's...
I for the longest time, ever since before you said that story, I always thought you were just the Rami.
Just
the Rami. It's just the Rami.
Yeah, I looked at that. And I was like, this dude's hard as fuck. Like,
I know, right? This
he's
dude
like
goes hard.
Don't
like
fuck
Royce
with
the
Rami.
5'9".
Yeah,
You know,
don't
like,
fuck
And
with
then
Rami.
And then I appeared on the screen, and you're like, it's a little disappointing. It's a little disappointing.
You should just.
no, I met you. I met you before I even ever went to your Twitter or whatever. Like before I knew who you were. I met you at a thing, and
Near a swimming
then
pool.
I looked up
actually.
your Twitter and I was like, that can't be him. It's got to be something else.
He's not that cool. I
Be
met
a
him.
rapper on the side as well as making games.
He likes to rap about indies, yo.
Yeah, it's a secret side gig. If yeah, that's what happens at E3 is Rami puts on a party, and he's the DJ and host and rapper.
I put on dinners.
Dinners.
That's my rule.
There you go.
Dinners. I do lots of dinners. Those are fun.
Dinners are good. They're good. We used to do those a lot of packs.
The thing I think, getting back on a little bit of a track here, the E3 I always look forward to for two big reasons. One, Twitch used to do the E3 pre-show, which, holy shit, that was Playland here.
Yeah.
Do you got an itch there, Rami?
Yeah, a little bit.
You son
I'm
of a
gonna face
bitch.
itching.
You son of a bitch.
Okay.
You said you wouldn't bring that, Rami. Not in the middle of Zeke's story. Zeke, please
but yeah, I'll miss
continue
the pre-show.
before
But like,
so
the
rudely
other part-
interrupted.
the other part I'll miss is E3 was the place, like, because don't get me wrong, I love, like, my favorite people to interview are indie devs and people with the indie world, because they're so, like, excited and passionate, and they're like, this is their fucking baby, and you can feel it, you know, feel the energy coming off of them. But like, E3 was the place where I was like, okay, I'm interviewing John Romero next, you know, Doom, that guy. Like, I'm interviewing him. Like, that was the place to do that shit.
Yeah.
And I will definitely miss, like, a little bit of fangirling in that sense.
Did
That
you
makes sense.
Did you ever play Doom against John?
No.
Is it good?
He will mess you up. That guy is.
You know, I'm kind of glad that's the case.
Most developers are shit at their own game. Like, this is something a lot of people don't know. But like, I suck at every game I've ever made. The two developers that I know that are like hard exceptions are Terry Kavanagh, who made VVVVV and Super Hexagon and Dicey Dungeon.
Yeah.
Playing that guy in Super Hexagon is absurd. Like, it's like millisecond movements. And then John in Doom, I think one GDC, he sat down and the entire show was just try to beat John. And I think one person did it.
Nice.
That was it.
Nice. That's, you know, again, that's, as the creator of Doom and you know, FPSs in a lot of ways, I'm glad that that's the case. That makes me happy to hear that for sure. Yeah, Zeke, going back to what you were saying about the interviews and stuff, like, in a lot of ways, it was starting to become the norm to like interview the indie devs and stuff like that. But now that there's not an E3 presence, a show floor, like, I feel like most of those have been lost, right? Like, that type of content is not being made anymore in a lot of ways. I've seen a handful of like IGN, I think, has done some interviews, and I think like Kind of Funny has done some showcases around it. But it's hard to get people to tune into that stuff because it's usually, in the production world, that's like the in-between conference content, right? It's what keeps people around the stream instead of tuning off and waiting for the next big conference. And so once I think the world, hopefully a year from now, and we're able to have maybe another big E3 in person, I hope that stuff comes back, right? Because I think that we have lost that voice a lot.
It's also kind of interesting to think about the fact that, like, when you go to a con, you know, you're there for the subject and the content of the con. So a lot of times I feel like people are a lot more, they feel this more obligation to experience it because they're there and they're physically located and it's right in front of them.
Yeah.
Where when you have like a virtual convention, and we see this over and over and over, where it's like you're watching a game convention and all of a sudden an interview comes up and chat just erupts like, oh, we're the games, we're the trailers, what the hell? You know, when you're doing a virtual con, you're literally competing with the entertainment of the internet,
right,
to hold people's interest, because at any point they could just leave the stream or go play a game or tab to another tab on their browser. And it's like that lack of investment that a lot of people have by not actually being there.
Yeah.
can get kind of lost.
Well, I think there's no better, example of that than what Twitch is going to be doing this year, with the fact that so many content creators are going to be coming onto their streams this weekend to like talk about all that stuff. Because that's what's going to bring in the viewership in between the conferences, right? It's what
We'll
does,
see. Yeah, for sure.
Well, their line of thinking is what brings in the viewers. Oh, this streamer in general will have a lot of viewers to begin with. Let's bring them over to our channel type deal.
Make it more synergistic.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see that. Come on, Robbie.
That word hurt you?
The word hurts me.
You're not agile.
Rami, listen, you need to synergize a bit more with the situation. And it's because you're not really the upward agility isn't synergizing with your current.
Oh, can we table this for now and circle back around?
Look, let's touch base, and then we can synergize our schedules, and then we can go have some synergy for lunch.
Have your assistants link up.
I just don't think that's conducive to a cohesive work environment.
You know, the worst thing is I've sat in these exact meetings.
What if we pivot to the synergy?
Do you know how often? You know, I think 2 E3s ago was the first time where the Bitcoin folks were like out in force, and the amount of meetings I sat in, that was exactly that, just like to the letter.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
I just think you need to align your paradigm more with it.
That's a good one.
To really,
that's a good one.
To fundamentally synergize. You need to take a shower yet? Okay, there we go.
There we go. We got him
that was the limit. That was it.
He's always trying to force him.
You had to fill the cup up. Okay.
He's always trying to force himself back on the show. We got.
You've broken him down so much. He's gonna change the A to an E, and it's just gonna be the Rami.
Yeah. And then when he gets big enough, he'll just be Rami. He'll just become the one name, right? The Beyonce.
Right. And then it's just a symbol.
Share.
It's like an @ sign.
That's the final stage. Yeah.
That's the final. Yes, exactly. At Rami.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. Well, let's go ahead and go through all the different, at least the bigger conferences. There are some smaller ones still happening, but there's a lot of stuff between now and next Tuesday is when it kind of all starts to slow down. Which, kind of the general E3 schedule usually starts around like Saturday, Sunday, which it's doing this week, and then wrapping up with Nintendo on Tuesday. So they're kind of keeping to that, which is good. Keighley, though, which we already mentioned, is getting out in front of everything tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern with the Summer Game Fest kickoff live event. He's got a bunch of stuff already going on. What's that?
So we had a little talk about this today, by the way. So some people think that the kickoff event is not like an actual show. They think it's like just a precursor thing into the E3 weekend.
Oh, no.
No.
It's a show, yeah.
They are, yes, not only is it a show, but there are many developers that are actually like putting out new news, like never before seen stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff that isn't going to be at the other shows.
Yep.
At this show on Tuesdays or Thursday. So yeah, it's going to be a thing. There's also like, who was it? There was a large PR firm that's like, yeah, a lot of pretty much all of our stuff is going to be at this, at KeelyCon.
Oh,
so
I didn't see that.
Definitely be checking it out.
I know they're doing a lot of, we were talking about how Twitch is using like influencers in their stream to bring in the viewers. Keely's counting on popular bands like Weezer and Japanese Breakfast and Sonic Symphony, who will be putting on musical performances tomorrow. I don't know those other two bands. Are they are they hip?
Japanese what now?
Japanese Breakfast. Are they good? Never heard them.
I just love the dissonance in Keely shows. It's like he knows exactly what you want in terms of games and not at all what I want in terms of music or anything else. It's incredible.
I mean,
he's so good at the game
not
stuff.
Bad, Here's the interesting
thing.
thing.
Googling Japanese breakfast brought up a lot of delicious pictures, but
is he just going to serve us breakfast?
I'm up for that.
I'm into that.
I'm up for that.
Yeah. What is a traditional Japanese breakfast? What's in there, Co?
I'm curious. It looks delicious. There's like lots of little plates and bowls, and it looks like fish and lots of different vegetables and rice. And
sounds good.
Oh man,
sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
Y'all know it's dinner time here, right? Like I'm postponing dinner until after the show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my lord.
Let's talk about food.
I listened to about 30 seconds of a Japanese breakfast song, and They're good, man. It's like
what type
a
of
little
music?
funk, a little funky.
Okay.
Like a good driving bass line and some
I know that Keeley is a giant Arcade Fire fan, and so I think that's kind of like his wheelhouse of music. Is it anything like that, Zeke? Do you know anything about Arcade Fire? Can you draw comparisons? Okay, I didn't think so. I couldn't do it either. I only know the name. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
No,
you could throw names and songs into a hat, and I wouldn't get any of them right.
Yeah.
Like I've heard like oh, I know that tune, and I know that name, but I could never connect them. Like I have no like skin in the music game anymore. Like I listen to almost nothing but like video game OSTs now.
Yeah. Makes sense. A couple people in chat said they are similar in mine. So I guess we're going to get a lot of that. They've also got some devs showing up. Giancarlo Esposito is going to be there. Of course, he's in Far Cry 6 as the bad guy. Jeff Goldblum is going to show up.
Fucking yeah.
Which I don't know.
Everyone loves Jeff.
Jeff's
no one
great.
knows why, but everyone just loves Jeff. He's just a great dude.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even
like
need to
Chris
be associated
Walken.
with the game. He's just going to come out and just be like, oh, hey, I'm...
Did you ever see Jeff's show on Disney Plus? It's literally just Jeff Goldblum walking around being Jeff Goldblum, and they just put a camera on him. He's like, we're going to talk
like
about...
I'm with Busey, just a lot less crazy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about denim jeans on today's episode, and it's like an hour-long episode about jean culture or some shit.
I love that. It's just a fucking IRL stream. That's all
really
it is.
That's with Goldblum rocking around. It's just that.
But like I've said this before, but Jeff Goldblum, people like Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Walken, they're like the MSG of people. It's like you put it in anything, it's gonna make it better. You know?
I like that. That's good.
This is a random tangent, and it's not going to be funny to you guys. I'm setting this up. There was another streamer, I think Will Neff. He went to Whataburger for the first time, and he was doing Christopher Walken saying Whataburger, but going like, wow, what a burger. And it was the funniest shit if you can find it. I told you it wasn't going to be funny. I set up the joke that it was not going to be funny to you, but please go find it. Anytime it's mentioned, I actually die. It's good stuff. Let's move on. Yeah, I don't know what Jeff Goldblum's going to be there for. I don't know. It says, and surprises will also show up. So I guess we'll have to see with that. And then we have a bunch of different world premiere game stuff. Some of that stuff has been like kind of teased. Some of that stuff has been confirmed. Some of the confirmations is Gearbox is going to be there with Wonderlands, which is, I think, the DLC for Borderlands 3 featuring Tiny Tina, which is a callback to the DLC, arguably the best DLC from Borderlands 2, which was the D&D esque DLC. So, you know, I think Tiny Tina is kind of divisive in the gaming community. Some people really like her, some people aren't the biggest fans. So we'll see how that goes. I think the biggest thing that everyone's wanting to see here and wanting to see all E3, at least in our social spheres, is Elden Ring. And Keely's dropped some like not necessarily direct teases, but also there's insiders saying that like Keely has the trailer and like it is going to be there tomorrow. So everyone's setting them up for either disappointment or for jubilation, right? I feel like Elden Ring is the thing that anytime one of these comes around, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be there. It's going to show up this time. This is the one.
Isn't it how appropriate that there's the ring in the title?
Yeah.
The one ring.
Yeah.
To bring them all.
It's true.
In the darkness, find them.
That's true. Yeah. Elden Ring, for those that forget, is the next Souls game. I'm blanking on the Japanese developer. Is it Miyazaki? No. Yeah, well, it's from Software, but who's the Miyazaki is maybe correct? Anyways, it's from Software. Plus George R.R. Martin is working together apparently on that. There was a leaked trailer a while back where it showed like some horse combat in kind of an open world style Dark Souls looking game.
I still just want somebody to make a horse combat game.
And just call it Ring
Elden. Horse combat. It's just horses beating each other.
Just call it horse combat.
Here's one horse combat.
I just want to see horses fight.
There was some horse combat, right?
See horses fight.
I want to say that we've seen some
horse around horseplay.
I think they perfected it like in the Atari days with Joust, and they were just like, you can't get better than that. That's good. That's good. We're done.
They tried
My Little Pony,
really
except it's PWNY. My Little Pony. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Everyone gets one, Co. I got mine. You got yours. Let's just move on. All right, so you can.
I thought that was pretty good.
Elden Ring is going to be like it's the kind of thing that's interesting because no matter what they show, it's always going to be a mess. Like that's how that's going to go, right? Like
from like the internet's reaction, you mean?
Yeah,
yeah,
of course. Like the expectations at this point are obscene.
Yeah,
it's a meme in itself that Elden Ring is going to be somewhere or not going to be somewhere.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's going to be very amusing to watch. I just want to be on the internet for that because it's going to be a massive shitstorm.
Well, I was talking to my stream about this the other day. Like, is it only like a hardcore fan base that cares about Elden Ring? Because I like Dark Souls has sold very fucking well over the year. I think it sold like 30 million copies across all their games or something. So it definitely has reach outside of a hardcore community, right?
Right. But I think part of that, like the weird thing about niche games, like because it is a niche game, right? Even with 30 million copies sold, it is a niche game. I think the main thing with those games is that a lot of people like their promise more than they like the game. And the people that like the game so much that there's no other game that can fulfill that promise. Right? It's this really weird thing. Like if you like that kind of game, there is nothing else that can satisfy that. There's games that try, but generally, people like the original series.
Yeah, it's the holy grail of it's the reason the Souls series exist.
A lot of people buy Dark Souls and then don't get past the first boss. Right?
Sure.
Like you just look at the achievement numbers and it's just not.
I had to look up the definition of niche because I was like, niche 30 million says niche. This is the definition, and I think you're correct, Rami. A specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service, which means it doesn't mean it's less well known. A niche means Dark Souls is a specialized thing. It's its own thing that no one else does nearly as well.
Yeah.
So I think it fits.
Yeah.
I had to look it up, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. But that's what in the industry. There's three golden ways of making a game that's a hit. Either make something everybody likes, be the only one who owns a niche, or do something better than everybody else. Right? And Dark Souls is kind of special in that the entire Dark Souls series, honestly, is kind of special in that they kind of managed to do all three at the same time nowadays. Like everybody wants to talk about Dark Souls, whether they play Dark Souls or not. The people that want to play Dark Souls, and they're better at it than anybody else. So Elden Ring is just like off the chart hype, and just gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think a good 4 for that list would also be to create your own genre.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now we have Souls-like. We have like Surge 2. We've got what was the recent one that came out where you could harden. The Neo 2. We've got like all of these games that are now trying to go through and be that game basically.
Yeah.
So now we have the actual creators. Mortal Shell, thank you.
Yeah.
Now we have the actual creators taking like the next crack at it and being like, look, we can still do it too. Like we're the originals. Like let's see how we can do still.
It's
surprising
I don't know, how. Sorry. It's surprising how much of a difference that makes, mate. Like being the original developers and like having gone through all, because like if you're not the original, you're looking at what Dark Souls is doing and you're trying to figure out why they did it. Well, the people that make Dark Souls, they know why decisions were made, right? They know why the tempo is that way. They know why the checkpoint is there. Like being the original developers of an idea, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference in quality. And it's very rare that somebody else picks up that ball and runs with it much further, even though they develop things. And over time, it equalizes out. But for Souls, I feel no other game has gotten close to them.
Yeah. I mean, I think like Neo 2 might be, at least for me, I think it's more of a personal choice. Neo 2 is probably like up there, but a Neo compared to like a proper Souls game, I don't think is like, those are two different entities in a lot of ways. I don't think Neo is bad, but I think Souls is Souls, right? I think that's a lot of people share that, and I think that kind of leads into the hype of whether or not this will be here. It's eventually going to show up, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a year from now. That game's going to the next From Software game is going to exist one way or the other. So it'll be exciting if it's there or if it's not there. Because if it's not there, the story's going to be, hey, did you see that Summer Game Fest thing? Oh, yeah. Elden Ring won there. Oh. Or it's going to be, hey, did you see that Summer Game Fest? Oh, yeah. Elden Ring was there. Oh, really? That's awesome. What? Is there a trailer?
I mean, I think people would just say, did you see the Elden Ring trailer? I don't think they'll mention Summer Game Fest at
that's
all.
True. That's probably true. Yeah. What were we going to say, Koch?
Oh, I was just seeing a lot of people in chat bringing up some points about like, what about this game? What about that game and stuff? And I think it's more to like what we're talking about is more kind of like ice cream. Like they're all ice creams, but they're just different flavors. And you could say like, or even if you want to take another step, like brands, So it's kind of like, Dark Souls is its own brand, and sometimes you just like that brand of ice cream. But they're all like Sekiro, Neo 2, like they all have similarities that keep them in the same region. Yeah, back to food, dude. I love food. It's so synergistic.
Yeah, we're just making Rami hungry.
It's food and synergy. But it's the kind of thing where they're all trying to innovate at the same time because they can't copy. So
put that shit away. Yeah.
What is that even from? Hold on. Like, stop the show. What the fuck is that even from that's making you so jealous? That gauntlet.
Can't get it.
It's hard. So Rami, much like myself, is a giant Marvel fanboy. And Lego put the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet on sale. Okay. And Rami ordered it the same way I did. Mine's not showing up till August. He already got his. So this is a little, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what that is. Yeah, I liked what you said about ice cream. And the idea that one, ice cream's great. And two, like, there's different flavors of ice cream, which is all these Souls likes. And then there's ice cream, which is Dark Souls. Right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, kind
of. That's how I look at that.
And and different flavors try throwing in random craft to try to make their ice cream the best. And some of it works, and some of it should never be an ice cream. And and
I'm a big fan of analogies. I love them. They're my favorite thing.
Uh-huh.
And this is what I would say. Okay. I would say Dark Souls is ice cream. All that other shit is fucking froyo.
Froyo,
It's good, but it's not the fucking same, dude. Ice cream is awesome, and froyo is pretty good. It's good.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree, but I think froyo is pretty good. I think froyo is also just ice cream. We're getting into semantics here. Let's move on. This is what.
Anyway, Elden Ring, great.
Yeah, Elden Ring, great ice cream, really good ice cream. I think is what we can summarize from that, right?
Elden Ring, not froyo.
Yep, that's the name of it. That's what they got George R. R. Martin right.
The peanut butter parfait.
Jesus. Do you think there's any with how from a mainstream appeal, right? Like not the hardcore fans that don't give a shit if George R. R. Martin's attached to it or not. Do you think the last season of Game of Thrones taints that at all? Do you think people care? Like, did that taint who George R. R. Martin is at all? And
I think he kind of distanced himself.
Did he?
Like, so to a degree, I think he did, and I think like even the actors did as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit different. I mean, he's also not the person that really
he didn't write it.
I mean, it's pretty clear who screwed that up.
Right.
So, and he wasn't really that person. And more importantly, I think that people fundamentally know he's the guy that hooked him in the first place. Like he created the good stuff, like he is the generator of that. And then someone else kind of took started steering the ship. And that's when it started kind of going downhill.
That's true.
I think the other thing is like the only thing people hold against George is that things take forever to come out when he's involved, and that seems appropriate in this case. So
yeah,
he's adhering to expectations.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody blames him for the show.
Let me ask you guys this, and we'll move on from Elden Ring. If there is indeed a trailer tomorrow, does Elden Ring ship this year?
that would have been a really good job at keeping it under wraps, which isn't unheard of. But I mean, especially now, June, like that would have meant that it has been relatively complete for probably months, maybe over a year.
Last time I saw the trailer was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I would strongly doubt it. I would strongly doubt it. But more importantly, let's ask the person that knows what he's talking about. What do you think, Rami?
Yeah, I'm grabbing another look at that leaked footage from a while ago, just
to see where they were at.
To see where they were at.
Yeah, the Rami's referencing it. I think it was an internal trailer that never got shown. / it did leak. / might be what we're seeing tomorrow.
Right.
If it is showing tomorrow, we should also note as a.
Caveat. I have a hard time believing this would come out this year. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's in a good spot, and obviously it's a trailer, so it's very hand-picked footage. But a lot of stuff doesn't have. A lot of stuff looks like it's still developing. Yeah, I don't think so. It also would be a really weird pacing for the marketing campaign, right? 2 years of nothing, E3, and then launch fast for a game that has so much hype build up around it. I think what they're gonna do is probably see what the response is to what they show, see if there's anything that they can play with, and then go from there. Or they're going to be really silly and they're going to go short. But I don't see that. That doesn't seem the way of the studio, honestly. Like They're a slow burn studio. So
makes sense. Do you think that will be a PS5, Xbox Series X thing, or is it going to be like cross-generation game, Rami? In your estimations? I
would guess cross-platform, cross generation, yeah. I mean, I think most games at the moment are just going to be cross-generation. Like, there's with the hardware like tightness everywhere. There's no good reason not to. I know a lot of people hate it, but
makes sense, right?
We need to make money. It just kind of is what it is, and a lot of people think that making a game cross-platform inherently means that the game is worse on the next-gen platforms, right? Because they have to adhere to the old.
Yeah.
And they're not entirely wrong, but they're also just not right. Like, that's not how we make video games. Very often we make our video games at very high quality and then just sort of like hit our performance targets on the way there with optimization and like clever architecture and stuff like that. Like, the main thing, and I think I've said this on the show before, the main thing that changes is the architecture of how our spaces look. And you're seeing that in Ratchet and Clank, and you're seeing that in, these other games where spaces are more open, faster movement, faster traversal between like highly diverse biomes. You're seeing more of that. If you're designing for two platforms at once, for two gens at once, you can't do that.
Sure.
Right? Because you'd have to remake the space. I think that's the biggest difference you see between a cross-gen game and a next-gen only game. Like, we don't understand the new devices yet. Like, we're figuring this stuff out. Like, come on. Like, give us some time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in a lot of ways, you just don't have them. Right? Like, or a lot of people can't even access them to build on. So, yeah. So yeah, we'll see if Elden Ring pops up tomorrow. What else is going to be there? There's some other leaks is a weird word because in a lot of ways leaks these days are just marketing teams that are pushing info out there because people love the idea of a leak more so than they love the idea of an official trailer. It gets spread faster in today's day and age. So a quote leak around this apparent thing from 2K and Firaxis, who may or may not be working on a XCOM game set in the Marvel universe, which I think is like, I think there's two people. If you go back about 3 seconds in the footage, one of them is Ko, which his face is kind of like excited and then distaste. Then there's Zeke, who's like kind of excited and then very excited. Right? So we'll have to see. As a Marvel fan, I'm very excited for that. Although I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if you're, from a gameplay perspective, if it is an XCOM style game, I don't know if your units are like the Avengers or if you're like shield agents, or like, I don't know how you make an XCOM game if one of your units is like Captain Marvel, right? And can just like kill everyone on the field in a second. I don't know how you make that.
I mean, you can. You know how I know?
How's that?
Nintendo did it.
Oh, with the Mario Rabbids thing?
Rabbids game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. You can do really ridiculous stuff in the XCOM formula. It's honestly a miracle nobody has tried like successfully anyway.
Yeah.
To do some sillier stuff with XCOM, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, interestingly enough, it's funny that you'd say that, because I'm currently playing this super cool indie game called The Last Spell, and in some ways, it is kind of like a lot of people see it and they go, "Is this turn-based? They are billions." Because the premise is that you have like literally a handful of heroes, but you are slaughtering countless enemies, like just tons and tons and tons of enemies. By the time you're done, you've killed hundreds of opposing enemies. So I am sure they could make a similar strategic game where like you have your little Marvel heroes at the bottom, and then in come the hordes of, nearly one-shottable enemies. And instead of you like, clicking on each single enemy, you're doing like a shield throw that takes out that row, and you're doing like some kind of return boomerang shield that just sweeps around and kills every single enemy in its path. And there's lots of things they could do to make a tactical mass body count number type of game that would really kind of showcase the power of the heroes. I think XCOM is, of course, more like nearly one-on-one combat, especially towards the beginning and stuff, or like everything can kill you kind of thing.
Right.
But by playing with the numbers, you can quickly skew that to make the player feel more powerful.
I'd play the game Code just described. Right? Like, give me Captain America on an XCOM style map, just like destroying hordes of AIM agents or something like that. It sounds pretty good to me. I'm into that. I hope that's all. I hope that it is like Firaxis's main team working on it. Because I don't know enough about, what was that game that the XCOM game where it was like in the future and you had like aliens on your team? What was that? Chimera, that's what it was. Yeah. Was that their main team that worked on that? Did they ever say if that was
whatever it was? It was more of a side project.
Yeah.
Like even if it was their main team, like it was a standalone, but it was not really like XCOM 4 or whatever.
3, 4, whatever. I think 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever we're up to now. But yeah, it wasn't a showcase piece. It was kind of like an addendum piece.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. I hope that is there in some degree.
Oh, technically it was not the main team, for the record.
Oh, okay. So they might have been working on this for a while then, if this is all real. Keep in mind, and we should probably put this caveat at the very beginning of the show, like a lot of this stuff leaks and rumors. Some of it will probably never exist. A lot of it will probably never exist, but some of it might be there.
Can we take 1 second to because you said like the leaks are often intentional. I think sometimes that's true. What I found really remarkable today is Battlefield's PR strategy paying off in such a spectacular way. They had a countdown to a countdown. The internet lost its marbles. Yeah. Everybody spoke about it and gave everybody the time when the trailer was going to be there. Yeah. And then everybody watched the trailer. The thing about PR that often gets me is the thing that pisses off people is the stuff that works. And it's really remarkable that it keeps working. I hate it. But
Ubisoft did the same thing with Far Cry 6, right? A week or two ago. They said like, everyone join here, blah, blah, blah. The stream's going to kick off this time. Stream started. It was a 30-minute countdown to when the actual stream started for Far Cry 6.
I mean, the thing that's crazy is like, who does like a start time and then runs like timers and intros and wait screens until an actual show is there? Like, how could anyone actually watch that?
It's true. It's true. You're not wrong.
That's just frustrating to think about.
Yeah. And then they run ads over it a lot of times. I mean,
that's what I just went, hold up. Wait a second.
They're sitting there watching ads when nothing is happening on stream. It's so weird. People would just
hold up.
That. Yeah.
calling the pot. That was the point.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, to even go further back, Horizon did that as well when they showed off the Forbidden West, Forbidden Wild. What's the rest?
Forbidden West.
Forbidden West. Yeah, they had a 5-hour countdown to that stream happening. So definitely some weird trends in the announcement stuff there. We'll see what happens with that. Moving along. What's going to be there?
In lieu of a fucking countdown, why don't you have a fucking pre-show where people do goofy shit and maybe
no one would watch that
in here.
No one would pay attention.
No one would watch that shit. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but I don't know if that would do very well.
I would come participate in it, but I wouldn't watch it.
Right. That's
come hang out.
That's a stream everyone wants to be at, but doesn't want to watch. Right.
It's so fun.
That's how
pre-shows are so fun. They're so ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that makes me miss like shows. Like, you just show up and
E3.
it's like Zeke would like any show.
Yeah.
It's like Zeke doing something absolutely preposterous, and you're just sitting there as being like,
one of
I missed that shit, dude.
my favorite experiences at PAXs of old, and even the esports events prior to that, when I was in that world, was going on like a Thursday or a Wednesday. The bar was very calm, very quiet, and it was just people in the industry. And it was just people there that had worked and set up the event the entire day, and they just want to shoot the shit. That was the greatest time, every single time. Yeah, that's the best.
And then the conference starts.
And it the bar just turns into a madhouse of people screaming for drinks and never getting a server and all that stuff.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while, right? Like, how are you? Oh, that's good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, working on something? Oh, cool. Yeah, no, awesome. Yeah, me too. Oh, sorry. I have a thing in like 2 minutes. I gotta go. But good seeing you, right? Want to do dinner later?
I've had that conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna have like,
dude, you could copy paste that.
Yeah,
like
no,
that was that.
I'm not a fan of what I just heard. I do not like it. I do not
it
like
has been a dream of mine to bring small talk business cards to cons and just like hand it out and maybe make it a thing so we can just hand our small talk shit and then we can actually,
have a conversation
talk about shit we actually care about.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm up to. Here's what I've been doing.
Well, I mean, this year
I would like to know about you. How are you doing? What are you up to?
Really, really early on at Vlambeer, we had a stamp with our business details, and if somebody gave us their business card, we'd stamp their business card and give it back. And it was
nice.
Flawless.
That's pretty good.
Flawless every time.
That's pretty good.
We won't contact you. Contact us.
Well, now the thing. Now when cons start returning, it's going to be like, oh yeah, what shot did you get? As if it matters at all. What shot did you get? Oh yeah, did you get real bad the first 24 hours, right? Yeah, that sucks. Was rough.
The weird thing though, the weird thing is when you see each other again, it'll be like nothing happened in between.
Right. Yeah.
That's the weird thing about this, because we're used to the cycle of not seeing each other for like 3 months, 6 months. And we see each other, it's like it's the next day from the previous time we saw each other, and then we don't see each other for 6 months again. That's how it works. Like, it's really weird.
Yeah, makes sense. Anyways, what else is going on here at the Kickoff Live event tomorrow? People think that because Jeff Goldblum's going to be there, that a new Jurassic Park game is going to be shown. The last Jurassic Park game was that Park Builder, I think. Wasn't it? I don't remember the name of it. Something Jurassic Park, if I recall. I don't recall. Evolution. Jurassic Park Evolution.
Builder.
Yeah, that's
why not?
Yeah. Jurassic Park Evolution.
But why not a Marvel fighting game? Like, because he was the head of the arena, right?
Oh,
a new Marvel fighting game with him as the announcer.
From Firaxis.
Fight. Go, fight.
That'd be great.
Like, that's how it starts. Like,
personally, I hope it's a new fly game.
Like, I don't understand.
New fly game.
I would like to see a fly game, or maybe Independence Day game.
Be cool.
I think that could be great.
Do you think Keeley
VR the Fly?
Do you think Keeley tries to like intermix like a movie thing into this whole thing? Some movie announcement? Or do you think he keeps it strictly games? Does he try to become the true entertainment expo and just be a center for all things media? Like, I mean,
I hope not.
I hope not as well. But in a lot of
I
ways, that's
hope
what
not.
some of the Spike Video Game Awards turned into, right? They had movie announcements at that. I'm fairly certain that like Austin Powers or some shit was announced at one of those back in the day. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I think he's got a really good thing going with. Oh, go ahead, Zeke.
Anything that gets too big starts dipping its toes and like. Remember when Comic-Cons were about comics? Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Twitch was about video games. Like, anything that gets huge is going to start leaking into every aspect of everything.
It's true.
Bethesda was about video games.
Right. Right. I remember that. Now they just make more Skyrim versions, you know? They then get
Fortnite
bought for
was a
like
video
multiple
game.
billions of dollars, right? Works out.
Remember
I
when
remember.
Epic made game engines?
I do, Rami, in one way or the other.
That lawsuit.
Getting into kind of the weeds of what's going to be there. Apparently, there's some Escape from Tarkov news.
Oh, is there a new map coming?
Says get ready to see 22 hours ago. Get ready to see something new at Summer Game Fest from B-State Games during kickoff live on June 10th. So I don't know if it's new map or news. I'm excited for that.
I am looking forward to that.
Also, isn't their name like a complete misnomer? Shouldn't it just be B-State Game?
Well, semantics, you know?
They're very forward-looking companies.
Sorry.
They're a forward-looking company.
They've got a lot of ideas, okay? But they've got one game, but a lot of ideas at the end of the day.
Hopefully it's Streets news. That'd be fantastic. I know they've been working on that for a while. The little bit they've shown of it has looked super cool. They also have, I think, a rework of they already reworked customs, and they have another rework, I think, coming.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of, I mean, they're a great example of like, it's technically it's early access, but at the same time, it's almost like a really well done live service, like where it's like, they have a really good existing product and they just keep adding to it. And the fact that they have their main community, like basically not only totally okay with, but expecting and liking wipes, like that bodes so well for your product. When your community is like chomping at the bit to have all of their progress erased, they can do it all again.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's pretty great.
It's very true. It's very true.
Yeah.
We're also going to see some Evil Dead the game tomorrow. That'll be there in one way or the other. I think they've already confirmed some characters for that. It's what you would expect from the Evil Dead world. Let me see if there's what is this? Hold on. Before I say what this is going to be. Apparently Hideo Kojima might show up.
At a Jeff Keighley thing?
At a Jeff Keighley thing.
I know, right?
No way.
I don't know what that means though. Like,
are you hold on? Are you guys being sarcastic or are you guys?
I'm serious. There is
meaning no way.
Well,
we're saying no way because it is very open that Keighley and Kojima are good friends.
Yes,
they are very. I mean, he was in his game. They do things back and forth.
I was wondering if they had a falling out, like I want them to be together forever.
No, they're good friends. They're still dating. Yeah.
Although I do know the tweet that this is coming from, I'm looking at right now, is Hideo Kojima holding a Summer Game Fest lanyard that Keighley mailed out to a couple people. And it looks like he's in his office still, wherever that is. So might not be. He might not
giving
be
those
there.
away. Keighley was giving those away on Twitter too. So it may just be like it may just be more of a collector's thing you send to friends.
That's what I'm thinking as well. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I mean, plus, let's be honest, that tweet was 2 days ago. Like, if that shipped to Japan in 2 days, that would honestly be impressive. So that was sent out before he tweeted those.
Yep. I'm looking at more. Some of these rumors again. I'll say it. I don't think it's going to happen. Rumor is that Sony is preparing God of War Ragnarok trailer for the summer event tomorrow, which I think that's way too early, especially given everything that Corey's been stating on Twitter recently. I don't think that's going to be there at all. Sony would hype the fuck out of that and would do their own thing, most likely, not give it to Keighley. So, yeah.
I mean, there is a strategic reason to give it to Keighley, but I think given everything that's happened over the past few weeks, it would be very strange for it to be there, right?
Right.
Like if they can kick off a Keighley thing with Ragnarok out of nowhere, that would be enough conversation that everything else that gets shown is like minor details.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It will be the news, but nah, ain't happening.
Yeah.
Even with an Elden Ring thing.
Yeah, I think they would probably beat out. I think they would beat out Elden Ring. Like you have to remember, Elden Ring is mostly a meme. Like it is a game a lot of people want, but it's mostly a meme, right? Ragnarok is a thing that people like at an enormous skill want to play. So yeah, the headline will be something like God of War, like Ragnarok. First footage of Ragnarok. Elden Ring was at the long-awaited Elden Ring reveal.
Yeah,
like as the subheader, right? I can't imagine it being the other way around.
Yeah, I think it would take the headline as well. In a lot of ways, it is kind of like the flagship IP at the moment for Sony, whereas Elden Ring is I mean, still massive, right? But it's
it's a meme.
Sure, it's a meme. Yeah, let's just go with it. 30 games will be shown tomorrow. It says combination of new game reveals, long-awaited updates, surprises in terms of the guest will be there. We already mentioned the musical performances that'll occur, so it should be a good time. We'll be watching it tomorrow as a group. I think Jesse Cox is going to be joining us, and we'll be starting around probably 1:45, 1:30 Eastern, as they will be starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. And it's supposed to last around 2 hours in length. So that is tomorrow, leading on into Friday, which is kind of a smaller thing. I know we can kind of go through the schedule here while we're doing this. Co and Zeke are going to be restreaming that together. They're getting into the Koch Primetime Hour as a sponsored stream. I'll be doing it
Sponsored
solo.
by Koch.
Sponsored by Koch.
We love Koch.
Yeah.
Co and I, big fans of Koch.
Yeah. I'll have Kochs.
Koch revealed.
I'll probably have Kochs plural on my stream, but if you want one Koch, Zeke and Co.
No, that is
Kochs,
100. We are not kidding. That is, it is Koch Media. That is how you pronounce it. It is Koch Media. Yeah. Koch Media.
Yep.
That's, it's German though, right? Like it's Koch.
Rami.
Yeah, but we're American, Rami, so it's Koch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
We're American.
Okay, yeah.
Jesus fucking.
It must be so.
Come on, dude.
So
Rami,
must
what
be
are you
so
doing,
uncomfortable to have like a nice like German name, like just be like Koch, and there you go. You do international media, and everybody starts calling you Koch, and you're like, well, I guess. Schade, but
they named themselves that, Rami. Yeah. All right, we're just reading what we see here. That's on them.
No, actually, no. Okay, so 100% real talk. I have actually heard it called like just straight up Koch, like Koch.
Yeah,
I just didn't bat an eye. Is it actually pronounced Koch? Is that what you're supposed? Like, is that how it's actually pronounced?
I mean, Koch is how I would pronounce it in German.
Koch Media.
I think it is a German company.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am not sure. Okay, well, good to know.
But at the same time, I think it's funny, so you should keep doing it. But
well, yeah. I just want to make sure while they're paying me to watch it, I'm not sitting there like
I'm the guy that can just say Koch a
big
thanks
to Koch Media for
they're
sponsoring the stream. Yeah. So I'd like to pronounce it properly.
Yeah.
So I appreciate.
Well, I mean, I don't think they'd be that mad about it. I mean, they're the guy. They did Saints Row, so like.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Giant
Saints Row. They
like,
know what the fuck they're doing, guys. They're not shocked that Americans call it Koch Media. Okay.
What was that big purple sword thing again? I don't like. It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they also have been out there saying like what will be there and what will not. I think they've been very vocal about that, but I don't have that full list in front of me.
They've certainly been vocal about what's not going to be.
Yeah, it's like no Saints Row,
they're trying to. Good on them. They're trying to manage expectations.
Totally.
They're trying to be like, look, if you want to see this stuff, it's not going to be there. Like, just so you know. That's I'm cool with companies doing that. That's totally fine.
Yeah, that's the way.
Sure.
To be honest, that's the way it should be. Like,
I agree.
Get out there, let us know what's going to be shown. It sets expectations. You don't have people going on Twitter and just shitting on you nonstop for not showing something.
Well, dude, never forget that Xbox thing with the "we'll show gameplay of AC" thing, where it's like it's so much better to go to a virtual con, and know what you're getting and get it, and then just be like, oh, it's pretty good, or hey, but you feel fulfilled, you feel like you actually got something, than to go to a con and with all these expectations and then just have like nearly none of them met.
Somebody's going to mess this up though, right? Somebody's going to mess it up and say like, oh yeah, there's absolutely not going to be this game, and then they're going to show that game as a surprise, and from that point we won't trust anybody ever again.
True. Ever again. Higher media, fake news media. Oh God.
What?
It's already happened.
Oh God.
Oh no.
What have you done? To circle back to what Rami said in the beginning, we were just talking about like, anyone have people going on Twitter being upset. That plays to the Twitter algorithm, right? Like then Koch Media is everywhere. If they're complaining, right? Then Koch Media takes over Twitter, one way or the other. So we'll see. That's on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. There's also the Netflix Geeked Week, which has I think been happening all week. But I guess that's going to be more game focused. Is the Summer Game Fest is going to be a part of that. That's on Friday at noon Eastern. The Tribeca Games Spotlight at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then the IGN Expo will be at 4 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, Zeke and Co. will be doing the Koch Primetime together. That's just a fun thing to say. I'll say that all week. And then I'll be covering most of the other stuff solo on JPNN. Moving into Saturday, which is kind of the first big day of E3, as it were, this year. The Guerrilla Collective Day 2, Guerrilla Collective 2 Day 2 is going to be happening that morning at 11 a.m. Me and Co watched the Day 1 this past Saturday. A lot of indie stuff. Not really any big splashes. It was cool. It was great.
It was a whole lot of cool, like a few of those things could definitely be big. A few of those things could be a lot of fun. Some very stylish, very cool things. Nothing. There were no nukes. There was no like, you don't leave going like, oh my God, it's not like one of those types of things, but a very good, like, I'm glad they do it. I really like the Guerrilla Collective because I feel like a lot of those games would never really get out if it wasn't for something like that. So yeah, looking forward to Day 2
for sure. Yeah.
Well, that begs the question. If there were no nukes, like what would be a nuke for an indie game? Like I'm trying to think like
hearing an established really cool franchise make an announcement. Like if you were watching that and they were like, oh, by the way, Don't Starve 2, or like something that's like a sweetheart, like saying. Indie type of game, maybe announce something cute. Oh, Hades 2 is coming out, or Hades DLC.
Or Rami's new game shows up there, like made by the Rami, right? Like that's a big deal.
And he doesn't say anything about it before it happens. Something like that.
Wait a minute. Are you having what's Rami? Do you have a new game?
Yeah. Rami, talk to us about your new game.
Did we leak it? Are we leaking it right now?
Is it? Am I rolling the trailer?
Yeah. Go ahead.
World premiere.
But
here's Rami's new game, everyone.
Oh God! A Drop Frame game.
Is it us?
But
he's making a Drop Frames game.
How to poorly manage a talk show simulator?
Yeah.
What is this?
You know how hard it was to get the voice acting for these 3 robots done? Like really hard. They couldn't keep straight for like 5 minutes.
True.
It's the worst. No, but the thing with indie shows like this is nobody knows what's going to be the nuke or if it's going to be a nuke. Like sometimes people have kind of a feeling, but with indie stuff, it's just so hard to tell what's going to be the big thing and what people are going to react to. Like we generally don't know what's going to be big, and we're usually all under the impression that our thing is not going to be the big thing, right? So I don't know, like because on the one side, like a Don't Starve 2 would be huge, but a No Man's Sky came out of nowhere, right?
Sure.
And the discussion around that, there's a lot of discussion around that, but still, that was a nuke. It's like we don't know. Like we'll just show a bunch of games, and if everybody comes away thinking there was a bunch of cool stuff in there, and they remember seeing it at some point, then we're happy.
Yep.
That's really it.
I'm going to preface this because I might hit a button. Don't know what's going to happen. Could work. Could not. Kind of worked. This is what they've said is going to be there on Saturday. We've got Akatori, Arkvale, Behind the Frame, Grime, Black Book, Trash Sailors, Hello Neighbor 2, Happy's Humble Burger Farm, Death Trash. That's a very good name.
Oh, dude,
that?
that one's actually really cool. I've been
Death
following
Trash?
that one on Twitter. Yeah.
What is Death Trash? They got a great name. What's Death Trash?
Death Trash is like this. It's like a pixel art adventure game, but it's in this super crazy, unique world of like just all sorts of weird. I bet it's a Zeke game. I'll say that it's a Zeke game.
All right.
Yeah, like it looks super cool, and the devs seem like they're very chill as well. So that's when I got my eye on for sure.
Cool. Demons.
Trash Sailors is like Raft, except with Don't Starve, from what I understand, for people that like those.
Yeah, sounds great. Despot's Game, Loot River. That sounds like a good fucking river. No Longer Home, Potion Craft, Ramen.
Where are you seeing this?
This is on the GuerrillaCollective.com site.
Okay.
You click. I think you got to go to like day 2. I'll link you here in a sec. Serial Cleaners.
I can find it. I'm here.
Slime Heroes, Batora Lost Haven, Blooming Business, Casino, Kitsune Tales. There's actually a lot here. Venice, Unmetal, Light of the Darkness, Severed Steel, White Shadows, Wolfstride, Ghost Runner is going to show
Ghost Runner.
Yeah.
Have you seen Severed Steel?
Nope. I haven't seen any of these.
The developers posted a tiny GIF of it, and it's I don't know if I can find that real quick, but they
shout out to Unmetal.
Let's see. Severed Steel.
Oh, Gorn. No, I don't know if we'll see Gorn there. I think it's too early. Yeah. Sorry.
It's a tweet on June 7th called Physics, I think.
Is it from their Twitter?
From their own tweet. From their own Twitter.
I will pull that up right now. Yep, got it. All right. Let's make sure.
It's a short GIF.
Cool. Yeah, I was just making sure like DMs weren't just gonna fly open all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah, it's basically hyper physics, blow lots of stuff up real fast, jump on walls, kick doors into enemies, slow-mo particles everywhere. That is like Super Hot if Super Hot was more okay with its physics.
Yeah, that looks
I feel
cool.
like that would make a super cool VR game if it goes really slow.
Or you would throw up everywhere.
Yeah.
Severed.
Well, the slower it goes, like that's the beautiful thing about VR games that are slow. Like you can do a lot of crazy things as long as you're going slow. When it starts going really fast that it kind of messes with you.
This game has like wall running, like quick jumping, stuff like that. Like that object that you see fly at the enemy right before, right as the GIF starts. That's the door to this room.
Did he kick in or something?
He kicked the door like horizontal straight through the room.
That's pretty cool.
And then he's throwing the gun at the enemy. It's bouncing off the wall. Then he grabs it and starts blasting.
That might be okay. That's on my radar.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks cool. Let me go back to the list here so we don't forget anyone. Zeke, you said Unmetal, cool. Did we cover that?
Unmetal is. I played a little bit of it. I played a demo of it, and it is cool in that it is a lot like Metal Gear, like the original, like or not original. I don't know if it's original, whatever. But it's like I Feel Asleep Metal Gear, but it's like a spoof parody. Like it's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
And it made me laugh. It was very, very funny, very well done. You can tell the people who made the game love the source material.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's just it controls a lot better. I'll say that. Like I remember playing the original Metal Gear on like Nintendo, and that shit was fucking awful. I hated it.
Rough. Yeah.
So the controls are much better, but the sense of humor in the game, if you like games like that make fun of themselves or whatever, it's fucking beautiful. It's a great game.
Cool. We'll see more of it Saturday morning at what time is it? 11 a.m. Eastern. Sable will also be there. Origami 2. Zeke, you have played Origami 1. I remember you talking about this game. So that's cool to see they got a second one. King of the Hat, Neverwinter. I guess, is that the MMO? I guess.
Wait, what? The MMO's still going?
Hold on, let me. What happens when I click this?
It is the MMO, chat saying.
It is, okay. Because they announced the Bard class, I think, for Neverwinter.
Mm-hmm.
a couple days ago, so that might be more of this. I don't know.
Huh.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. That's bright and early Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. I don't think are going to be covering that as a group. They're leading right into the Wholesome Direct, which is also Guerrilla Collective. I don't know what that is. I've seen that.
Wholesome Direct?
Yeah. What is the Wholesome Direct, Rami? Do you know what's going to be
Wholesome
there?
Direct is a group of developers that banded together like a year or 2 years ago with the idea of doing a show for games that weren't about violence or beating things up or blowing stuff up.
Gotcha.
Right?
Oh God, why?
Just wholesome games. Honestly, it is if you're into that aesthetic, it's a really good showcase every time. It's kind of structured like a Nintendo Direct. And honestly, the games they show there are frequently incredibly good. But if you're allergic to Nintendo, a lot of it hits sort of like similar notes frequently. So,
well, this would have been like Spirit Fair, Stardew Valley, like stuff like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Really good games, honestly. Like genuinely incredible stuff starts in the Wholesome Direct nowadays.
JP, can you read that bottom part of that?
Which part?
Okay, but I hate the word wholesome.
Oh gosh,
it's
you're
quite
gonna.
Long. This is gonna trigger some people.
So,
what
honestly,
makes
the short version is
okay. Rami, you want to shorten it? I can read this whole paragraph if you like.
I just meant the one below it, the little one.
Okay,
but I hate the word wholesome.
Sure, I can think I can do that. Nope, that didn't work.
There we go.
It says honestly, so do we. Sometimes toxic positivity is a real problem. And lots of words and ideas like wholesome or family values have been warped into dog whistles and harmful purity tests or used to dismiss serious concerns. We want to make absolutely clear that our values are diametrically opposed to these uses, and we can only hope that's reflected in our work.
That was a lot of jargon. I didn't understand it. I really didn't. I'm not kidding. I did not understand what the deal with that it means.
The basic version is there was a big argument in the indie scene last time they did a Wholesome Direct, in that a lot of people felt that they were trying to own the word wholesome and trying to own the aesthetic with the Direct, and that it was sort of to the exclusion of everybody else making games like that. So there was a discussion about the word wholesome and whether somebody should own that and whether it is a bad thing to like call things wholesome. So instead they put up this frequently asked questions. It was
okay.
I don't want to tell anybody that they're wrong, but it was kind of a ridiculous
it was a little ridiculous, but it's fine.
It's important to have these discussions, but can we not have them on Twitter, please?
Yes, that's probably a good call. It's probably a good call.
Or just anywhere. Let's just not have those discussions. Let's just let people call things whatever they want and be good with it.
I think the best place to have that conversation is like at an E3 bar on like the night of the conference while drunk. That's probably.
There we go.
And screaming. Lots of screaming.
The good news is the discussion is over. They added that to the frequently asked questions, and hopefully this time we can just watch some wholesome games in the Wholesome Direct.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Inshallah, that'll be it.
The funniest part about the Wholesome Direct to me is not anything having to do with the event. It's that it leads right into Ubisoft Forward. Is happening?
The anti-wholesome.
Is that happening at 3 p.m. Eastern later on Saturday? We will be covering that. I think Jesse Cox and Dodger will both be there for that, joining me, Zeke, and Co. It's going to be a weird one. Ubisoft is, it's a weird spot right now. Not the greatest messaging attached to everything that Ubisoft is doing. And I say messaging, not their own messaging. Let's just say they're like carrying a lot of extra baggage.
Carrying a lot of baggage. That's a great way to say it.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest similar terminology. But that word, just saying Ubisoft these days, has a lot of baggage.
Yeah. It's and a lot of like, I used to always say on these shows, like, oh, yeah, I'm very excited for Ubisoft Forward because it's going to be weird, right? It's going to be that absurd one where they have some dancers come out and they're wearing like neon strapped to their bodies, and Usher is going to be there, or some musical act or something. And now I feel like the entire tone, because of the
going
news.
on? Usher, Weezer, like.
Yeah, well, that was a long time. I mean,
that was a while ago. Yeah,
Usher's
man.
been in the game. He says Happy Christmas and Easter Xbox every year. He's big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does a lot for the game industry.
Okay.
Anyways, it's gonna be a weird one.
I have some issues with that exact statement, but yes.
For anyone,
He's
I'm seeing more. I'm seeing more than a few people in chat be like, "No, what's wrong with Ubisoft? I haven't been paying attention." The best thing we could say is probably just Google it. There's a lot, and it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
It has to do with like allegations and ways the company's been run, and ways that they've tried to restructure and get around those, and then the public's reaction to that, and then how they reacted to the reaction. It's just been like this giant chamber of not good, and really just like not great stuff are coming out of it, and and then the games have just kind of been like more Ubisoft, and it's I like how I didn't catch the name. I think it was Sniper Name G just said Ubisoft makes the best worst games. Fight me. It's kind of like it's just kind of a thing.
Ubisoft has a formula, right? Like if you know a Ubisoft game because you've probably played one before and you've played them all in a lot of ways, right?
Which,
like
honestly, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad
honestly,
thing at all.
Not a bad thing.
No, the Assassin's Creed series, Valhalla was great. My biggest complaint about Valhalla is there was too much Valhalla, right? Like the game was too big. So
which is the Ubisoft formula.
Yes. Yeah.
And they can take what they do and put like an interesting spin on it. I loved Phoenix Rising, Immortal Phoenix Rising. I thought that was a lot of fun. And that was like a new take on, let's be blunt, kind of what they do. It's an open world adventure game. It has its little objectives you accomplish over the map. It wasn't really deviating too much from that, but they made it fun and interesting. And I liked that one. So, and I think a lot of people did. So, there's it's not, we're not saying like it's all bad. It's just, there's just baggage.
No, yeah, there's
right.
Not having to do with any of their actual games. There's just baggage going into the event.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's not entirely true, obviously, right?
Yeah,
the people that control how games get made, that affects how games get made.
Right.
Yes.
The long and short of it is, there's a lot of baggage, and there needs to be some serious change in how they deal with that baggage.
Right.
For me to really be excited. And that makes me feel bad because I'm a game developer and a lot of the people at Ubi are good people doing great work, like trying their best making video games. And it's really, really unfair that their company name is now attached to that nonsense. So I hope they get this sorted out soon.
So in the past for their conferences that they've done, not attached to E3, they've usually had a like Twitter statement. Granted, the baggage around it, we keep alluding to it in such a shitty way. The stuff that happened was all very fresh, and so they kind of had to make a statement around it. Do you think they say anything prior to the event this time around, or do they just try to ignore it and act like it never happened?
It's interesting because the last time they used the "in the interest of time" excuse, like everything was new. So remember that? So they were like, okay, since we didn't really have time to address this properly, we're gonna let's be real. We're gonna half-ass it by just putting something like this little thing at the very beginning, and then we're gonna do our thing. Now this year, like all of this stuff's been cooking. They have plenty of time this year. So if they do try to do something like that again, I think it's going to make a lot of people very frustrated.
Yeah.
If they try to ignore it, I think it's going to make a lot of people very frustrated. They are as much showing games as they are kind of sending a message about the state of their company.
True. Yeah. I mean, that in a lot of ways, that's what E3 media briefings used to be, right? It was so the investors would be like, oh, okay, great. You guys that's exciting.
It's like a little checkup.
I'll continue
a little PR checkup. Yep.
Yeah.
The honest two plays that they have from a marketing perspective, the two plays that they have is either don't say anything about it or only speak about how you make things better without mentioning what was wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Those are really their two options. Anything else is a trash fire waiting to happen.
Yeah.
From PR perspective. So ignore, like I was saying, ignore is the most obvious play, but
I definitely think the people that they have chosen, at least in their most recent stuff, to speak is not the norm that you have seen from a Ubisoft thing. So they are trying in that regard for whatever that's worth. But yeah, They've also kind of been out there and are setting expectations on what you can expect to see updates on, including For Honor, Trackmania, The Crew 2, Brawlhalla, Watch Dogs Legions, and more from the teams at Ubisoft. They also have spoken about the upcoming title, formerly known as Rainbow Six Quarantine, which they had to rename for obvious reasons.
This is the first time hearing this.
Yeah, that is now called Rainbow Six Quarantine. Still in my mind. What is that?
Rainbow Six Quarantine 19.
What is it? Fuck, what is it called? I forgot what. Extraction.
I know.
Rainbow Six Extraction.
Extraction.
Yes. And they've put out some different trailers, kind of showing that stuff. Yeah.
Did you know there was a game engine called Corona SDK? They didn't have a good time.
Yeah, I bet not. I mean,
No.
How's the beer doing? I haven't even looked at how they're doing if we're talking about unfortunately named things. Yeah,
It's
You know,
beer,
the only
so I mean,
thing-
you generally get it for Corona.
That's
so,
true.
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's doing okay.
it probably is fine.
Really, the only thing I want from Ubisoft is I want a new Starlink game. That's it. I really like Starlink.
I remember
Battle for
Starlink.
Atlas or something.
Yeah.
That was surprisingly good, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of IP that is exciting. Like Rayman, we haven't seen anything really new from that. Those games were great, in like the Xbox 360 and PS3 era. So maybe some more of that. There's always the One More Thing, aka Beyond Good and Evil 2, for Ubisoft. We'll see if that shows back up and makes DJ Weed happy. They've got. What was that?
They're going to announce that George R. R. Martin is writing it, and we got to wait another 20 years.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm up for it.
That'd be great. They're also producing still their Mythic Quest series on Apple TV. I think that's getting to season 2, so we'll probably see that. There's also a movie called Werewolves Within, which I guess they're making. I've not heard of that at all. And then, of course, Far Cry 6, which we saw some... They had like a stream for that, which we already referenced 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. So we'll probably see a little bit more of that. But, yeah,
That's the non-political one, right? Far Cry 6.
Yeah, that's not political at all.
Okay, good.
No. Well, I mean, it's it's political, but we don't really know how to talk about this.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad for whoever has to be the face of those games. You go into a briefing, it's like, okay, so we have a game about guerrilla warfare, right? About people rising up against like an overwhelming power. It's a little bit about economy. It's a little bit about like, so anyway, when they ask if it's about politics, just say no.
So what's main character's name? Oh, we just called him Bolsonaro. I don't know. It didn't pull that out of our hats. Yeah, just where it is? Oh, it's called Facil.
Yeah, it's in Facil.
The name we made up.
It's Cuba with a K, actually. Funny enough. So.
No, I think they picked. I mean, does anyone hate Gustavo Fring?
No, he's great.
He's great.
He's fantastic.
He'll weather the storm. He'll be fine.
Yeah. I do wonder what that I wonder if. I mean, I'm sure someone had to go to him, right, and be like, "All right, they're probably going to ask if this is political, and just say it's not." And like
he did eventually come out and say that it is.
Well, yeah, I know he did. Now they have since come out and say it, but I wonder how much of his conversation was just like, "Wait, this game's not political." What do you fucking mean?
He just grabs the whiteboard with like a big word political, as like that they have at the start of the design process. He's like, it kind of is.
Yeah.
No, that's got to be hard though to hear that, like that, because I've never had that experience as an indie.
Right.
If I want to say something, I just say the thing.
Nice try, Rami. I played Nuclear Throne. I saw the themes. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, okay. Again, that game had no politics in it, like none whatsoever. It was definitely not a statement against like a whole bunch of stuff. Capitalism.
It's very anti-mutant. It gets weirder, Co. If you ever played Nuclear Throne and put on Dark Side of the Moon, like while you're playing it,
backwards, yeah.
It fucking syncs up. It is crazy.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Took a lot of work.
Do you think at the beginning of the game it'll have like any similarities between this and the real world are purely coincidental? Winky face.
I would pay for that mod.
The character like looks back and winks at the cameras. Yeah. So that's Ubisoft Forward. We'll see. The next showcase after that is an hour and a half, so I don't know how long they're actually going to show footage.
Real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
Real talk. Are we looking forward to any like bombshells at Ubisoft?
I don't know, because like I think they're going to show some DLC, which I think is also leaked out there for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think it's set in Paris, is where that's going to be. They also came out and said that they actually had all of their brands on Twitter saying like, we will not be there. Prince of Persia was one of those brands. The Division is one of those brands.
Pie in the sky, dream big. No, nothing's off limits. Let's go South Park.
Could do another South Park. Yeah, I think that second one did well.
Okay.
Sales wise.
I'm trying to think in terms of studios, like I think most of their studios are occupied, right?
They've got a Star Wars game that they have talked about having a Star Wars game, which I don't think we know a single thing on. So maybe we get that.
Odor remake, is it?
No, I don't think so. I think it is open world. What have they said about that? Because they've said some things. It says Ubisoft and Lucas Games announced new story-driven Star Wars game, which is what Massive Entertainment is working on currently.
Oh, dude, I'm always down for open world Star Wars anything. Like that'd be really cool.
Can anybody let Amy Hennig finish a game?
No,
please.
No,
please.
Absolutely not.
It's like
absolutely not.
Jade and Amy.
Yeah, her and Jade.
Let them finish video games.
Never.
Just please let them finish a video game.
Look, those unfortunately they just get hired and then scrapped a year or 3 afterwards, and that's it. Unfortunately, it's just.
How do you spell that last name?
On which?
Hennig.
Yeah.
Hennig. Hennig.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we could see some Star Wars stuff about that. That was announced January 13th of this year. So they've had 5 months to name it, 6 months to name it, work out what the fuck that game actually is, apart from being story driven. Because what's a Star Wars game that's not story driven? That's kind of a weird way to phrase that, but whatever. I guess it makes sense. Card games aren't story driven, right? Yeah. So that could show up. A Assassin's Creed VR and Splinter Cell VR have Ubisoft job listings in the world of rumors. So maybe some VR stuff.
Are those rumored job listings or are they job listings?
Sorry, they're job listings that lead to the idea of those being proper games.
Okay.
That's the thing.
I can see that they've been starting to talk a little bit about. I've seen conversation around Splinter Cell lately, which surprised me. But like somehow there is, that's not a series anybody would bring up or talk about unless there was something to mention.
Well, I don't know who it was on Twitter that I read, but I could not agree more with their statement. And it was something along the lines of like, stop fucking putting Splinter Cell shit in another game and just make a Splinter Cell game.
Make Splinter Cell game.
Like everyone wants a Splinter Cell game. There's nothing wrong with that IP. It's not tarnished. People love Splinter Cell. So I don't know why they just don't do that.
I can see it. It's kind of an IP that needs a reinvention,
a refresh
to work. Yeah, it needs a reinvention to work. But we're now in like ray tracing era,
right?
Like, come on! Like, if there's any series that really needs that, it's Splinter Cell. Like, it's a light and shadow game. Like, Ubi, like, I'll do it. Like, just ping me.
Right? Yeah. Who is this? The Video Games Chronicle, just to give them a source and also put the onus on them, not us, have said that a new Ubisoft multiplayer PvP title codenamed Battle Cat has apparently leaked on social media. Battlecat combines the Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, and Division games into a single Tom Clancy multiplayer title. The leaked images show Splinter Cell's Echelon as playable characters, as well as Breakpoint's Wolves and the Division's Cleaners and Outcast. Each character class has its own unique ability. The images claim, such as Echelon's radar stealth and Wolves' additional armor, as well as an ultimate ability such as Outcast's Divine Intervention.
Ultimate ability?
Yeah, which stops nearby allies dying for a limited time. The leak describes 2 game modes: Escort, which requires attackers to escort a package to a delivery zone with defenders out to stop it, and Ringleader, a mode which has players fighting to collect rings from fallen opponents. Ubisoft previously combined its Tom Clancy's properties with mobile games Elite Squad, a free-to-play RPG shooter released in the last year. Ubisoft also said recently it's planning to release high-quality free-to-play games across all of our biggest franchises across all platforms.
Right.
So that kind of all meets to maybe this is a real thing, potentially.
About the game, just make another Splinter Cell game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
But
yeah,
the free-to-play
that
thing,
sounded
obviously
pretty not good.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly,
Yeah.
It sounds like a video game. There's not much more to say. It doesn't evoke any feeling or excitement. Maybe when the trailer drops, right? Like maybe when we see it, we go like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
Right.
But
that will be our actual response. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't feel like Splinter Cell and Ultimate Ability should ever be in the same description.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't seem right. That doesn't
Yeah, the ultimate ability for
right.
Sam Fisher is just McCree's ultimate from Overwatch, right? Like that was literally a gameplay element in the original Splinter Cell series. So, yeah,
it's the free to play thing makes sense, and I think we're just going to keep seeing that across the industry. Like that's it. Like this is happening. We can be upset about it, but like stuff sells, and even though you could say, "Don't you all have phones?" Like people will rip you a new one for like a year and a half straight. They're still playing the game in the end, so like
still makes
money.
70 or what was it? 60% of the earnings of the entire game industry, or some absurd amount when it comes to mobile games.
It's an absurd amount.
Yeah.
Like free to play microtransactions, season DLCs, battle passes.
Maybe it was 70 billion, not 70% of the.
That's still like 50% of our annual income.
It's absurd. It's we talk about that a lot on the show of how absurd. Even though none of us play mobile games, we know how absurd they are. Just Dance 2022 will probably show up there. And then that Riders Republic game that they showed, I think, last year, will also be there, which is like a extreme sports game. I
like those.
Yeah, I was never really big when they showed it. So,
do you mean extreme sports as in sports that we consider extreme, or do you mean extreme sports as in sports that are normally not extreme made extreme?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Because I really like the second category.
Here's the trailer.
Oh, it's just Steep 2.
Yeah. This is definitely an extension of Steep.
I like Steep.
This is what they showed the first time this game was showed.
Oh my god, it's this. Wait, we're still at Ubi?
Yeah.
So they're pulling the Crew 2, but with Steep.
Yeah.
It's literally the same. It's copy paste. It's like, okay, so let's do the same thing, but let's add some different vehicles to it.
It's a good way to put it, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll probably see what this game actually is, rather than more of this.
Did you play Ski Sniper?
I don't believe so. No.
It's great. You should play it. You should actually. There's nothing to do. This is nothing to do. Find a trailer for like 5 seconds.
Okay. All right.
It's the shortest pitch for a video game that I can tell you about.
Let's take a look.
The ski jumping made me think of it.
Ski Sniper.
Ski Sniper
on Switch?
No, it's on PC.
We are completely grabbing someone else's gameplay, but fair use and shit, right? Here's Ski Sniper. Wait, what? I think I saw the end before seeing the beginning here.
Here we go. Here comes the video game. You ready?
This is like the biathlon, but if you did versus, it's great.
What? Okay. All right. They played Sniper Elite 2 and put the bullet shit in there.
That's awesome.
And you just, great. Why haven't I heard of this game? This game seems fantastic.
Just know someone was like...
And then they rate how far the body falls in distance?
Yeah. What were we saying, Zeke?
It would be cool. Watch the Winter Olympics. If you could shoot those guys, that'd be fucking cool.
Does this fall under the wholesome games category? Would that show up on there?
I think this is more a Guerrilla Collective kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
What an absurd game.
I love it. I have no idea how it happened.
Depending on, like,
Ooh,
it's a cool idea.
shot.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That's a very cool idea, but is it just that? Like, I want more depth. I want to shoot every Winter Olympic game.
I think it's just
like
that.
I want to shoot the fucking curlers. I want to shoot the slalom,
The curlers. Oh my
fucking
God.
duo ice dancing. Like, I want all of them to be shoot. Like, I want to be able to shoot all of them.
Wow.
It's you can shoot from different places, and the hardest level is when you're in the ski lift.
Yeah.
So you're actually in the ski lift moving.
Oh, moving. It's a moving shot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, it's nothing. No, it's just this. It's a joke game, executed very well.
Yeah.
It's really fun for like 15 minutes.
I would love
Totally
to
worth
see. Love to see that at Ubisoft Forward Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Riders Republic gets a new update.
They've got a new mode. It's ski shooter.
It's actually part of Far Cry 6 now.
Yes. Yeah. Incredible. After Ubisoft Forward is, we used to kind of joke that these aren't conferences, but the one that they did prior to this had a lot of great games in it. It's the Devolver Digital thing. And it looks like they are back in full force.
Do you have a time for that?
Yeah, 4:30 Eastern on Saturday is when that'll be happening. Yep. That is a part of Summer Game Fest. I don't know if they have said what will be there. I know that Nina tweeted out that she was going to be there. Or Devolver tweeted out that Nina was going to be there. Let me see if they've shown. Okay, so Phantom Abyss will probably be there. That was actually, I think Lyric was doing some sponsored streams for that. Looks pretty cool. Looks like Indiana Jones roguelike multiplayer with a twist that once the dungeon has been traversed, it is gone forever type deal, which is a cool idea. So that'll probably show up. Trying to see, Demon Throttle is, I guess, a thing. Devolver Digital, of course, doing what they always do. Getting Wario64 to tweet it out with the tweet saying, Devolver accidentally faxed me this image with the file name, physicalonlygames.srg, and begged me not to tweet it. # sponsored leak. And tweeted the image. So there you go. And now they're saying monetize. The tagline for the event is monetization as a service is the future, and that future's future is Devolver Max Pass Plus.
Nice. Going after season passes.
Yep. Tune in.
There we go.
Tune in for new games from Flying Wild Hog, Galvanic Games, and Doinksoft, and more. What a great company, Doinksoft. That's a 10 out of 10. Also, we'll get release dates for Phantom Abyss and Death's Door. Do not tune in if you hate our videos. You're under no obligation to watch. So there you go. That'll be on /Twitch Gaming at the time.
Sounds like the disclaimer for my stream. Like, why are you watching this if you hate it so much?
Yeah, that's a doozy.
They're very good at their job.
They know what they're doing. Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing, and they do it well, without question. Gearbox Entertainment, I guess, is showing some stuff at 5 p.m. Eastern, 30 minutes after that. So people probably just continue watching Devolver and then watch whatever the trailers are out of that. And then Game Beat Session, another thing which I'm not familiar with, is doing something later that night at 5:40. And then we move on to Sunday, which is kind of the big crazy day. If Saturday was not the big crazy day, Sunday is the big crazy day. As we are starting off with the Xbox and Bethesda, a phrase I can't believe I'm reading, game showcase, as they have combined, because obviously Xbox bought Bethesda. That's happening at 1 p.m. Eastern, probably the biggest showcase of the weekend, arguably. A lot of crazy stuff could be here. A lot of crazy stuff. Halo Infinite.
Honestly,
yeah, go ahead, Rami.
They know how big it is because they named it that way, right?
Right.
Like it's not the Xbox show. Like they know they got something.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see what something is in this case.
Yeah. I mean, they also have a lot to like. They got a lot of. They have to do a lot here in a lot of ways, right? People weren't so happy with how Halo Infinite showed the last time it showed. That game's gonna ship this year, so they got to show something where people are like, "All right, yeah, I'm back in on Halo. I want to play that."
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield.
No, I think people are expecting Starfield.
Yeah, that's probably the big thing, I would think. And everything kind of points to it being there. And also the things around Starfield are also like giant news. The idea that Starfield will most likely be Xbox exclusive and will most likely be a game or a day one Game Pass game. That in its own is like, that's a whole new story on its own. It's just the idea that those two things exist, let alone whatever footage or they say about this. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh,
what's that?
What?
Somebody was spamming something in my chat, and I apparently missed this story from 7 days ago.
About?
Have you heard of Omen?
No.
Arcane, the makers of Dishonored, are apparently making a new vampire-themed immersive sim.
Oh. Wait, what is immersive? Oh, so like a...
It's probably like Dishonored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you looking at the gamingbolt.com story?
Games Radar.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it was kind of all over the place then. The rumor originated on Reset Error and has since been shared on Twitter by a handful of different things. Arcane Austin's new IP is apparently called Omen, or that's its working title, and has vampires. Game apparently has a spring 2022 target launch window and will be allegedly be revealed at E3.
Okay, here's the dream. Omen is not new.
Uh-oh.
And they found a new home for the Bloodlines 2 IP.
I
would love to see Arcane.
Don't say it too loud, Co. It won't
happen. I know. Here goes Co-hoping again.
You guys are the fans of that. Is it more exciting if there's a new vampire IP or if it's the Vampire Bloodlines Masquerade IP?
Well, the thing is I mean, Bloodlines was such an iconic classic.
Yeah.
And I think everyone wants to see, all the fans of the original want to see like a real well-made sequel. And ever since they literally pulled the plug on Hardsuit Labs, I think was the name.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, these guys screwed up too much and we're not going to make this anymore, essentially. I think everyone is, the project is so like amorphous
splintered
right now.
Yeah.
It's so, like nobody knows if it's even going to be made. So I think if an announcement were to come out saying like we found a new home for this IP in a reputable studio, I think that'd make a lot of people a lot happier. Because I think people are potentially being realistic and expecting we may never hear from that IP again. Like we realistically could never hear from that franchise again.
Sure.
Which sucks.
I mean, it would be wild for Arcane to take on another IP, another team's IP though. Like it's a very like R shit kind of studio, isn't it?
That's true, especially with them, working on Deathloop right now and probably wanting to keep as much focus on that as they can.
Yeah.
Just shape it up, like
even,
cool.
It is. Deathloop is looking great.
Right. For the record, an immersive sim is just a simulation where player choice is sort of like central, right? Like everything from Deus Ex to Dishonored. But that's what they're good at. Honestly, that's what Arcane does. So if they say we have a new thing in a new setting, I don't care whether it's vampires, a space station. I literally don't care. Arcane games, I am in. Like I'm always in, even if they're janky as hell sometimes. Like I am in.
Dude, hashtag give us Prey 2. Oh my lord, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Vampires in space. Yes.
Oh, both. Yes. Awesome.
Let's go.
Vampires in space. I'm into it. Yeah, there's been a lot of news around the Xbox and Bethesda conference. There's been rumors and leaks and all that stuff. I'll kind of peruse through them. People are saying Forza Horizon 5 will be in Mexico, which will be announced, which, cool. Give me some more. I hope they lean into the absurdity of what Horizon has done with like the Hot Wheels DLC recently, because that was definitely a great part of that game.
Also hope they lean out of the like bro car
culture.
Driving festival.
Yeah, the festival thing is a little weird. Yeah, the Horizon Festival stuff's a little strange. Where is this sourced at? WindowsCentral.com is reporting that IO Interactive, the makers of Hitman, may be working with Xbox on an exclusive fantasy RPG codenamed Project Dragon. And that could show up this weekend. I'm trying to see where this actually like comes from.
Project Dragon, really?
I
mean, better than Dargan.
It is better than Dargan. It's true. It's true.
We really need to get better at working project names.
Before I say this and make Ko squirm in his chair, I'm trying to see where this actually originates from. Stand by. Hold on. Rami, say something insightful.
We really need to get better at coming up with temporary game titles. Seriously, like every project I work on, there's like a 6-month discussion about what the work in progress title is, and then we get to having to name the real game, and we all got used to the stupid name we had as a work in progress title. And then we launch with that one. Very, very frustrating. But yeah, there's not much to say about this.
I have a question related to that. Yeah. Why are there so many games that come out that I think I might know the reason, but the titles sound like just offshoots of like there's battle and everything, there's dark and everything, there's blah blah blah. Why is that? Is it just because they want the marketing from like a game that sounds similar to work for them, or
market research? That's market research. Like a lot of that is just not with indies. Indies don't know what the hell they're doing, and that's like wonderful. But for a lot of AAA, the amount of data they have on everything is absurd. Like a lot of these decisions get made with like 70 graphs of like user personas and like existing names and like research into like what do you call it? Research into what people think of certain names. Like there's just so much.
Sure,
there's so much. Like nobody just sits down and goes like Ezekiel the third, and then goes like, okay, that's Zeke. I'm Zeke. It doesn't happen.
Aren't they afraid of getting lost in the shuffle? Like my name is called my game is called Dark Battle Legends, and when you look it up, you might find me, but you might find like all these other different games with those buzzwords or keywords in them.
Right. Well, the hope with that is just if you own a name hard enough that it filters to the top. But like the reality is like Escape from Tarkov is a shit name. Let's be honest. Okay. Like that's a ridiculous name. It's the only reason it is now a good name is because it is now a good name. Right?
Sure.
Like a lot of naming is just you make up stuff and then like Apple. What the fuck is Apple? Nike? Like a lot. A lot of those names for the bigger games are precision shots. Like they know exactly what it's going to do, how it's going to work, how it's going to land. They research that kind of stuff, and the project titles are usually from the design team. So we just go like, it has a dragon.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
Hey, look, my new dungeon-themed survival simulator based on dogs called Barkus Bungeon was a game that took me a lot of time to come up with, okay?
That's genuinely a good name. I want to play that.
Some of the best indie Sundays that I've ever had, little game sections, was shortly after Death Stranding came out, because there were a lot of games with Death and Stranding in them that were kind of like shitty copies or trying to be whatever. And wow, keep them coming. Like I hope that shit keeps. I hope that's a trend that keeps happening.
Listen, in chat, people are saying Nike is not that bad of an example because it's the name of the goddess of victory.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous idea. That doesn't make sense. It only makes sense because it's popular now. If you got to anything and they're like, we're gonna name our thing like, I don't know, like after some Greek goddess of something, nobody would go like, oh, that's a great idea. Everybody will immediately think of the goddess, like, great idea.
Yeah,
it's silly.
Like Hades, what a stupid name. You know, what a bad name for a game there, right? Like it just be terrible.
Hades does that thing where it has that thing where it's a 2-syllable word that ends on a strong sound, and that's actually a pretty popular like choice for indie game things. Vlambeer was actually written very similarly. When we were mouthing it, you literally sit when you're coming up with names. You literally sit there saying words for hours until you find something that's like nice to say. Vlambeer was nice to say. Hades is nice to say.
Someone in my chat.
Go ahead.
Oh God.
Someone in my chat goes, Hades nuts.
Which let's be real, that's actually the real reason that the game was titled that. They needed a proper setup for the conventions they were going to, and they said, if we were to take these nuts, what could we put in front of that to potentially convey how we feel about the current game development as a whole? And the rest is history.
It's just unprompted. That's what that guy decided to type in chat, and it was a winner. I mean, that's what you hope. You wake up every morning and turn on the stream, and you just hope to see one of those, right? Once a year. That's all you want, right there. Man, that's real dumb.
I don't even think you need to stream the rest of the year.
I think I'm done. I think chat
that might be drop frames. 2021, last episode right here.
I think we're good.
Rami,
we're good.
I gotta bring this up because that is what you just said is how my dad came up with his kids' names, and I got to witness it because my youngest brother is 12 years younger than me, so I got to see him walk around the house and go, Alexis, and this before Alexa was Alexis, Lexi, Tyler, Tyson, and he would just like walk around the house like while my stepmom was pregnant, just saying names and seeing what he liked to say, and that's how they fucking settled on all of our names.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like, and my brother's name is now Aloysius, and my older brother is now Phoenetaplane.
Yep.
Ah, yes.
This is my brother, Limit.
Jesus Christ. I'll say what I was going to say earlier because I went and found the full thing. I'll just say this. You guys are grasping in this one, in my opinion. There might be a new Fallout game announced, according to a quote that came from a Xbox executive that said as such. I'll read the quote and then I'll explain why people think this means that there's going to be another Fallout game. They were talking about Game Pass. The quote is 55% of those surveyed said that the main reason they joined Game Pass is to get new games at release, that day one content. That's why we make investments the way we have. We have 23 studios across Xbox and Bethesda working on Halo, Forza, Fallout, and a new IP that we haven't even talked about yet that is going to blow your mind. We can deliver all that into the Game Pass on day one.
They probably meant 76. They're still working on 76.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
And here's the thing. Not only do they have Starfield, which is their next baby, but then they have ES6.
Right.
So they already got in some hot water for teasing ES6 as early as they did. They haven't even started to hype ES6 yet.
Right.
Because since they want everything, they want all eyes on Starfield. And besides, you know, I hate to say it, but we live in the day and age right now where a new Fallout game doesn't excite me anymore, because it's going to be like Fallout Blades, or it's going to be like, you know, Fallout Shelter 3, you know, like it like, you know, Fallout 77. I mean, it's going to take some work to get that back. And here's the thing. I'm really hoping that Starfield is really good. I'm really hoping that now that Microsoft is there, that they can focus less on making money and more on delivering quality content, and we get a good Starfield. And then, and this is me hoping again, let me say it right now, then we get a good ES6, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, maybe Microsoft is kind of helping. And then maybe we can get excited when they announce the next Fallout game after ES6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, at this point, they're in a deficit, and they're still in a deficit, and they have to catch up before they start trying to get ahead of the game.
You're not wrong. I agree with everything you said, and I think Bethesda would too.
The only thing that would really excite me is if they announced that Obsidian was going to start working on a new Fallout game. If they were to bust something like that out,
they just handed it
like,
off.
Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, while Bethesda's working on Starfield and Elder Scrolls, since we own both the companies now, we're going to let Obsidian work on Avowed and an unreleased Fallout game, something that's going to come in the future. Like, they can do that now. They can do that now. It's all in the same umbrella. So that's the kind of thing that would get me actually excited for Fallout again.
For sure.
And I think I hate to say it, I think I speak for a lot of Fallout fans.
Yeah. No, I mean, Chad is in agreement with that. What were we going to say, Rami?
I mean, strategy-wise, what Koch said also makes a lot of sense. Like, in terms of IP fatigue and like that's what I would do if I was them. But the chance of Microsoft going like, oh, since we now sometimes might release games on Switch or something, maybe Fallout is coming to Switch is much bigger than, you know, anything else. So
right.
You all have mobile phones, right?
We do. Not necessarily new game news, but at least new game on the platform. There was a leak in Xbox or in Korea when Persona 5 Royale was rated for the Xbox. So a lot of people think that it is coming to Xbox, and that's going to be either an announcement in itself or like tied to a Game Pass montage or something like that. Which I think a lot of people would be excited for.
Have they ever ported a Persona to Xbox? Like any of them?
I don't think so.
There's now on Switch, but before that it was PlayStation only, as far as I know.
Okay. Also, chat saying that was now debunked. So there you go.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
See, but this is perfect because now they've set it up so you'll never see it coming.
You know, I counter your audio, Zeke, with my audio.
You never see it coming.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That made me happy.
Yeah, no, that's
that actually makes me happy.
Good dopamine hit there.
Honestly, Strikers doing the soundtrack again, but like harder, was the best thing.
Oh yeah, God, that was the best part of the game.
Oh yes, the mute. Oh, it was so good. Whatever that song picked up, it was so good.
Yeah,
it was so
what
good.
a good video game.
It was great. I
actually finished that game.
I'm excited to play it in.
You should finish that
November, December.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yes, looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that, man.
It's very good. Has the best character in Persona 5, at least. But
I've heard.
Yeah, you should start again. You should also start Royal. This is all yes to all of these statements. Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things where I think like Halo is going to dominate it. I think if Starfield is shown, that's going to dominate it. I think you'll get the Xbox tried and true games, the Forzas. I don't think Gears is going to be anything. At least I think they came out and said that they are shifting the company to a new engine and to not expect anything from them a couple months back. So we probably won't get anything from there. Maybe some Age of Empires stuff. because they've got a new Age of Empires coming down the line. I think
A9 will be thrilled.
Yeah, exactly. And it also looks very good from the stuff that they have shown. It's 90 minutes as well as the full conference. So
somebody asking a question in my chat. Any new stuff from id?
I don't know. Maybe some.
And also, is Bethesda going to keep how is Bethesda publishing going to work now? Because
that's a good
Bethesda
question.
publishing is honestly one of the best things Bethesda's been doing for years now. So it's like, is Bethesda going to retain its kind of like singularity as a publisher while under the Microsoft umbrella, or is Microsoft going to start publishing like id stuff? Like,
I wonder if we'll get indirect answers about that. By just actions that they say on stage, right? Because that's what we've seen, like a lot of
we haven't seen. Wasn't there a Wolfenstein game teased for a while that was supposed to be post the chick duo?
There was
I think it's something different.
Maybe I don't know. Wolfenstein is a big IP for Bethesda, and is that Machine Head? Who are the devs behind that?
Machine something.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Machine something.
Machine Head Games, maybe. Machine Games.
Machine Games. I think it may just be Machine Games.
Okay. Yeah,
someone said Machine Head. Yeah. Oh, Machine's making that Indiana Jones game. That's right. There's that Indiana Jones thing that came out for a little bit, right? Have you heard about Kinsuv?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe that. Yeah. Maybe we see some of that. Maybe see what that is.
Fable. You hear more stuff about Fable.
Wasn't Perfect Dark a thing from the initiative? Yeah, Perfect Dark is a thing.
Yeah, Perfect Dark is a thing.
They got a lot they can talk about at this conference. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah,
is it only going to be an hour?
It's 90 minutes.
Like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing now. Microsoft has bought like 75% of the games industry. Like they have a lot to talk about. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Fable as well.
Oh, dude, Stalker 2 info, since they announced it's going to be Game Pass stuff, and the last thing we saw from there was looking pretty good. The fact that that's going to be a day one Game Pass is good, because that makes me think that Microsoft is going to like make sure that game is at least like something, it's not going to be like a buggy mess if they're like promoting it as a Game Pass, like a big thing on that. So
yeah,
hopefully that'll be something big.
Which game are they going to go hardest on, y'all think?
Halo.
Is it going to be Halo?
Halo and Starfield, I think, are the flagships.
I think you kind of nailed something earlier, though, when you talked about how they kind of have some ground to make up with Halo, because you're right. I mean, even people that I knew were Halo fans were like, that looks kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like they just weren't impressed. So
totally.
I don't know if they'll really want to spend a lot of time trying to gain ground instead of build hype. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes me wonder if they want to put like their best foot forward kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know what they show for. I'm trying to imagine like, what do you show for Halo? I think when people play Halo, what they showed was what you should show. It just didn't come across that well. And so maybe they go from like the multiplayer aspect this time around and leave the single player stuff for a later showing. And you get a bunch of like, I hate to say it, but you get Ninja up there and he's playing Halo, right? Because that's what he used to be, was a Halo pro.
Kind of his thing.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Mixer. That was the whole big rumor when he went over to Mixer, is that he was going to be the Halo guy. So I mean, that would be something big there.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what they need? They need some Halo goosebump scenes.
Yes.
If you remember in the latest Doom DLC, you've got that like in what was it, Endgame or Infinity War style thing where you're like, you enter hell and it's just you're looking around and like the war is happening and the entire army's warping in and you're just like, holy shit, this is awesome. Yeah. They need stuff like that for Halo.
They do.
Where it's like, oh, this is Halo. Like it's a lot of the Ratchet and Clank guys, so good. I don't even play Ratchet and Clank, never played one, and now I want to because I keep seeing these amazing set pieces where it's like you see a 10-second clip of Ratchet and Clank. And you're just sitting there like watching it 3 times to get everything in. And I feel like that's what they need to do with Halo. They need one of those things where it's just like, this is awesome. Like not one of these slow, just moving around. This is the grappling hook.
It's one of those
like
things. It's one of those things where like, if you hear is a Halo fan, they could play like 7 notes on a piano and chills would occur for me. Right. Like if you played those games, you know exactly the song that I'm talking about, and all I got to do is just play those notes, and you're in. And if they tie that to like I think in a lot of ways, like the music is so evocative of the Halo experience as a whole that if they wrap that into a nicer, prettier package, then maybe that's all they have to do.
We're going to show the new Battlefield. We didn't even talk about that.
That's true. Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to Battlefield soon. Yeah.
I don't know about Halo. It's been sort of my main question, like sort of my main speculation question as to what Microsoft's going to do. Whether they're going to lead hard on Halo or whether they're going to go a little easy on it to sort of like be like, hey, no, it's better than where you thought it was, right? And now let's talk about hype shit.
One second. I have to prove a point. Hold on.
You like Halo?
While JP's gone, like these are the devs that I don't want to say Microsoft owns, but they own 343, Coalition, Rare, Mojang, Obsidian, Turn 10, Playground Games, The Initiative, Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, In Exile, Double Fine, World's Edge, Compulsion Games. They own so many companies are under the Microsoft umbrella that
huge.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. Rami.
We also maybe we'll hear something from Tango Gameworks, the makers
of the Ghostwire
right. Yeah.
Ghostwire, maybe more Evil Within stuff. Good call, Narcissus, for reminding me on that. But yeah, they've always been under the Bethesda publishing umbrella.
Yeah.
So, and they were pretty big centerpieces at the conferences that counted for those. So
yeah.
I'm with you. I hope some more Psychonauts 2 shit. That's cool.
They showed a little bit of gameplay of that last week. If you saw that, Zeke.
They did?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, there was some gameplay of, I think it was like one of the first levels or something like that. And it looked, exactly what you would expect it to. I went and got the Xbox Series X box, which is a stupid statement to say, but Halo is literally on the back of that box. Like, that's how hard they go on Halo right there. That their fucking console launched with a game that was not even there because they delayed it. So I think in that way they have so many.
Oh yeah.
They have to put so much emphasis on Halo. Like if Halo sucks, everyone's gonna be like, "Nice first party, bro." Right? Like,
just like that too.
They're gonna go on Twitter and be like, the fucking PlayStation Stan accounts that somehow always end up in my goddamn feed. Or just be like, "Yeah, bro, it's been 900 days since first party Xbox game. Where's your first party, bro?" Right? So
also, in the meanwhile, Microsoft bought 27 first-party studios, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus, fucking internet, mate.
Yeah.
So like they have to go on Halo. I just wonder how hard they're gonna go on trying. Like basically what Ko was saying earlier. Like the fight for them for Halo is so much cover ground that you can do that in very short time. Right? You can go and show a little bit of Halo. Play a little bit of those notes, show a little bit of campaign, give a little bit of goosebumps, show that it's in a much better place now, and then just fucking go before you disappoint people again.
Yep.
Right?
If that game ships,
make that impression and move on.
I think if that game ships this year, which I think have said it's still coming out holiday 2021, like if not now, do you announce another thing to show Halo? They have to show that game. In a lot of ways. So does it become its own thing? I don't know.
Could be. I mean, Microsoft is not above like doing a showcase for a game for like 2 hours. Like that's I can see Microsoft doing that. They have plenty of little events where they talk about games. So
yeah. So I think look, I'm excited for Halo. I actually was one of the people that was fine with what they showed.
Me too. Like, it was in development. Like, come on.
Yeah. Whatever they show, I will be absolutely okay with. But I would love to have that excitement shared because that just makes me more excited when that excitement is shared with other people.
And see, that's the big thing. And this is actually what I was going to mention about that iconic thing you were talking about earlier. Like, I have played a couple Halo games over the years.
Yeah.
So for me, I do not have that effect at all. Those notes don't have the effect on me. I also saw that last Halo stuff and was just like, this looks like an old game.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like a next-gen game. I'm the people that they should be hooking at these events. Like, not the diehards, because they're probably going to play it anyway. We're be real. It's the next Halo game. You're already in. So they need to be like they need, especially when they have that many eyes on Halo, they need to be hooking the people that aren't going to hear those notes and get the goosebumps. So it becomes even more important.
Yeah.
They're kind of in a weird position because they also need to win back the people that like those 3 notes but didn't like Halo 5.
Right.
Which is also a significant part. Marketing wise, this is a really fun exercise, which is why this is the one I'm curious about.
It's kind of an impossible exercise. If you think of like where console FPSs are, and really, I guess what I'm saying is if you think about Call of Duty and how much it's like dominated the landscape of console FPS games, at least when it comes to like competitive and whatnot, multiplayer, like Halo is everything opposite of what Call of Duty is. In so many, it's not super fast pace. It's not, there's no sliding. There's no kill streaks. It's, they have to win back that audience as well as Co and people like Co, as well as the old audience. Like, it's impossible. Like, it's so hard. I don't know how they do it. I hope they do, but I don't know how they do it.
I'm just sitting here thinking, what was Halo 5's story? Which is bad news because I can recall every Halo game up until Reach.
Isn't that when they went after Chief? Or was that 4?
Oh yeah, that was when. Was that the 2 teams? It was the 2 teams, right?
Yeah, it was the 2 different teams of Spartans that were chasing after Chief because he was on like a rogue. He was trying to find Cortana.
Oh yeah, it was Cortana. Yeah, right. Cortana went rogue, and then yeah.
Spoilers. No, I'm right there with you though. They're hard to remember, but yeah, I think that is. We spent a lot of time talking about Halo, but I think that's how it is. We did that because it's important to them
important
as a brand to nail that. With that said, Co, I think you're probably the Starfield target audience, right? Like you're in by the name of Starfield. What do they show? Like what?
They show gameplay. Is what they show.
What is that game?
Show, that game, it looks to be Skyrim effect. It's basically what they're doing is they're taking what made Bethesda special, which is their open world RPGs, their Fallouts and stuff like that, the stuff that people liked, the stuff that people look back fondly on, like Oblivion and Morrowind and things. They're moving that into the next generation in a sci-fi setting. So we're looking at things that make an interesting experience. We're looking for cool environments. We're looking for interesting RPG mechanics and things that set it apart from just like an action shooter. So it's going to be the kind of thing that it's really Starfield is going to show us what is Bethesda's next step. What are we going to see from this company in the future? You can't just remake Skyrim. You know, you already tried remaking on Gamebryo 100 times, and it hasn't been great. So a lot of people are going to be like, okay, this is still Gamebryo. Like, wow us, please, because everyone's screaming at you to get on a new engine, and you're dying to stay on this one. So, you know, like, show us why this is an okay decision. And really, it's just, I think a lot of people want to see how are they going to make this special? Why are we going to be talking about Starfield in 10 years? What about this game is going to be something that's going to really draw us in? The very little bits we've seen so far have made it look kind of Mass Effect-y, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, if they do that well, it could be good. But you know, we're going to have to see, man. We're going to have to see how it goes. I know that especially due to more recent things with Bethesda, a lot of us are approaching Starfield with more apprehension than excitement. Me being one of those people. So I'm hopeful, Co, that Starfield will be something that can start the redemption arc for Bethesda, because frankly, they have really, and I can't think of a better term than this, they've really screwed the pooch, so to speak, over the last while on this, and it's the kind of thing where they have a lot of ground to make up. They very much showed that money became the central focus with how they use their IP.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, can we just talk about how this trailer is? It's a nothing, almost a nothing burger. Like, I watched it and I went, "That's what I get." Really?
Yeah, which is again just another reason why let's hopefully see a lot more than this. But yeah, it's the kind of thing where.
That's it, by the way.
Yeah. There were some really great memories and special things in older Bethesda products, and they very much went away from what made Bethesda special over the years. And I think people are hoping, especially now, that we start seeing them hopefully get back to what made them amazing in the first place. Good in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to think like what, and I guess this is why I'm not a game developer. And if I had the idea, I would obviously go and make that game. If I think about the Skyrim, right, of like their pedigree, right, the Skyrim and Fallout experience, I don't know what that game does to not just be a Skyrim or a Fallout in space. And maybe that's all it needs to be.
If it's good, well made, and works, and it's a Fallout in space,
is that the bar though?
I mean, works definitely not, because no Fallout or Skyrim game ever worked. Right?
That's what's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know, I agree with you on that one, Rami. It's like all of the games on release have been rather garbo. Even from Morrowind. I mean, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim on release all were messes. Fallout 3 had some pretty significant issues. Fallout 4 is when we saw a lot of those issues creep into some of the design mechanics, which was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I you know, that's the thing though. That's the thing. I think a lot of us are kind of and then 76 never happened. But I'm hoping that a lot of us kind of they need to take another step. They need to take the next step away from that. We don't live in a day and age anymore where you can say a game is $60 and release in the state that those games did. Like these days, it's different. There are so many really good, well-polished, amazing games out for $60 that if you try to release that these days, like the industry has moved beyond that.
Yeah.
Where it's to the point where you will get trashed if you try to do that. Trashed. And it's happening. We see it happen. Go ahead, Rami.
And the sad thing is, because you can't release them that janky anymore, you can't make those games anymore and succeed at them. It's a really weird paradox, right? The fact you could make ambitious games like that because you knew at the end you could be a little janky and a little broken, and you know things might work out. Like Dead Space, broken as hell. Mirror's Edge, a little jank. Like everybody got motion sick from that, right? Elder Scrolls, like you know that entire era that everybody loves to talk about, the sort of like 2008, 2012 era of video games. We're just putting out jank. Let's be honest. Like 90% of games that came out at that point were like pretty broken. Allowed a bit of ambition in what people were making, and now we're in a very like polished stuff up phase.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was great when that came out. It was real polished.
Well, that just goes to show you that's different.
They couldn't do it.
Yeah,
No, but
to be fair,
it
though,
proves the point. No, Go, you're right. You're right. It proves the point. They tried something really ambitious. They worked something they started in 2012, 14. When did they start on that?
14, 15.
been working hard on it for
Right.
about 5 years. Yeah.
When jank was still kind of okay, and then they had to polish it up all the way to what people expect now. There was no way they were going to hit it.
Yeah.
There was never a way they were going to hit it.
Right.
That's
was
true.
too ambitious.
I do want to point out that the Cyberpunk is a little bit different because it was like over ambition mixed with the exact opposite, which is marketing bullshit and unrealistic
Right.
deadlines. Like that game needed another year, like no question. So and they basically took that turd and spent 3 months polishing it instead of working on it, and then they just released it and lied about it.
Right.
Yeah,
I need to control my blood pressure, so let's not talk about Cyberpunk.
That's a longer
but
conversation.
that
We got to side
that
table
being
that
said,
one.
I totally see what you're saying, and that's true. That's absolutely true. But I want to see the next step, in my opinion, is keeping at least the same level of ambition while also allowing a level of polish. They're a huge company now. They are a massive company that has an even bigger company backing them.
Yeah.
So that before that scrappy little passion project of, you know, let's try to be ambitious with what we can has become, let's try to be ambitious with all the resources that we could possibly have behind us running the show as well. So like they're running out of excuses to not be ambitious and not deliver a quality product. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work. You know what I mean? Like it has to work. And what's even cooler is now we have companies like Obsidian that showed from Outer Worlds, like, we're not super ambitious with this, but we did make it rock solid. And that's why I think a lot of people are so excited for Avowed, because it's like, cool, now that we know you can make it like work really well, now we want to see you take it to that next ambition level. You know, make it really special. Like Outer Worlds was cool. It was cool, but let's face it, the last DLC for Outer Worlds, better than the base game by far, in my opinion. And then you have like that, now we have Avowed coming out. It's like, cool, you've made the foundation of the house. Let's make the second floor something really special. You know what I mean? Right. Now that you know how to do it. So I'm hoping that's what we're going to see with Bethesda. I'm hoping that's what we're going to see with Starfield. And I'm hoping that if Starfield shows good enough, we actually can start looking forward to ES6, which would be a great feeling to have.
Yeah.
I have a feeling if they're going to do anything, they're going to, if I had to make a guess, I would think something like Bethesda would lean into something that Warren Spector was always waxing about, which is sort of like the idea of procedural narrative, but well done. Which, if any studio is positioned to do that, I think Bethesda would be the one that does it because it fits their world, it fits their narrative structure. If I had to guess what Starfield is going to do, I would guess it would go something in that direction. Knowing nothing about not even like NDA stuff, I just genuinely know nothing about this game.
Yeah.
If I was looking at Bethesda, that would be my guess. If it works, good question.
Yeah.
I hope, like you, I hope they don't play the safeguard.
I don't either.
Because that
safeguard
would suck.
Yeah, it would suck. It's boring, and in a lot of ways, like I think this is the first thing, the first attempt for Bethesda to be like, this is why they bought us. This is why they paid so much money for us, right? Because like it's the biggest acquisition in games to happen in a very, very long time. Perhaps just the biggest acquisition in games. And in a lot of ways, this conference has to be both sides. Xbox has to prove to everyone that like, hey, we're not just a Game Pass company, right? Like we make good games. Please get our console, but also Game Pass. Don't forget about Game Pass, right? And Bethesda's got to be like, this is why they bought us, because of this.
I genuinely think Xbox is the Game Pass company.
It is the Game Pass company, but they're all they have to be the Game Pass company plus.
Right.
Plus games that they made on that Game Pass, right?
I'm starting to feel that they're getting to the point where they're not quite sure they need to be more than that anymore. Like it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Fascinating company.
Yeah. We'll probably Game Pass will without a doubt get mentioned several times throughout that. There will probably be a sticker
many times
on literally every trailer that rolls, like available on Game Pass Day 1. Like that'll be everywhere. They're going to talk about that as much as they can.
The new world premiere is just coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Yep.
Now on Game Pass.
Yep.
Yeah. Zeke, start practicing.
Yeah, we need your world premiere in fine form. No, not yet. We don't.
World.
All right. We got some time. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern will be the 90-minute Xbox and Bethesda game showcase. Jesse Cox and Dodger will be there for that. And then, Jesus, we're already short on time. Square Enix Presents is happening at 3:15 on Sunday. Rami is going to be joining us on that, as well as Dan's Gaming, Mizik and Co. Square Enix, what is going to be there? Let me pull up the thing. There was a leak a while back, a couple weeks ago, about a thing that was like wasn't it like a Final Fantasy Dark Souls thing or some shit? Wasn't that a thing that they leaked?
Oh, yeah.
You mean Babylon? Whatever it's called.
Yeah. A Team Ninja thing is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy Origin. Apparently maybe the running title for that. It was according to numerous sources collected by a website called Fanbyte. There are reports that the new Final Fantasy title is coming from Team Ninja and will be announced during Square Enix's Presents at E3 2021. Team Ninja, of course, studio behind Neo, as well as other games. Very, very well-known studio. We don't know much more about the game itself, but expect it to take place canonically in the same time as the original Final Fantasy title from 1987 and will launch as a PS5 console exclusive. And we will see if that is a thing that exists and is true on Sunday. Another thing that's also rumored, which is kind of crazy, going along with the Marvel relationship that Square has. Of course, Marvel Avengers, very well known. How that went down recently in the past year or two. There's another ensemble game called, or not called, but around the Guardians of the Galaxy IP that they are apparently rumored to be working on. according to insider and journalist Jeff Grubb, who seems to be.
That's a great idea. They don't get enough video game love, I don't think.
Yeah. Jeff Grubb is pretty solid whenever he comes out and says stuff. Trying to see who's the team behind this. Is it Crystal Dynamic? That would be making the would-be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Eidos Montreal, right?
Oh, is it Eidos?
Yeah, I think it's Eidos Montreal. At least that's what the rumors say.
Gotcha. Yes, it is correct because it's the same studio that makes the Deus Ex games. So this is the game that could have been, not anymore, a Deus Ex game. But
will be one day.
You think they're going back? Your hope is that they go back one day?
They better.
We'll see. That Marvel money. Whew. A lot of Marvel money. Life is Strange True Colors will be there. Tomb Raider devs are apparently rumored to announce a new game. Dragon Quest 12 showed some stuff a while back at the Dragon Quest event that took place. Dragon Quest 12, The Flames of Fate, which is running on Unreal Engine 5. They showed like a logo reveal, and that was it. And then I know Babylon's Fall is, I think, going to be there. What the fuck is Babylon's Fall?
It's a Platinum Games game, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's an upcoming action RPG from Platinum Games.
Listen, you say action game and Platinum Games, I'm done. I'm good. I want it.
You're in. They
can just stop. They could literally run a thing tomorrow that says Platinum Games makes action game. Here's the title. I'm good. I'm buying it.
Title: Action Game.
Literally, if Platinum Games puts out a game called Action Game, I will pre-order it.
Look at the teaser trailer. I mean, it looks slick. It looks pretty.
Is there one?
Great animations. Like it.
They made a good Transformers game. Like, come on,
let's.
They did make that
Got a
Transformers.
glowy, floaty sword thing going on.
Oh,
it's like they're fighting demons or something.
I remember seeing this game. On the official SquareEnixGames.com blog, they say that there will be a world premiere of a new game from Eidos Montreal, probably that Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Exciting update on Babylon's Fall, which you're currently seeing on screen now. New details about Marvel's Avengers expansion, Black Panther, War for Wakanda, and updates on upcoming in-game events. And then a deep dive on Life is Strange True Colors and a first look at Life is Strange, the remastered collection.
How have you managed to go all this time talking Square Enix and not mention a single Final Fantasy yet?
Well, we said the Final Fantasy Origins. That's what we started with.
Yeah.
But isn't there also like 16? There's rumors about maybe remake like stuff.
And we have what? Isn't Integrate? Integrate's out tomorrow?
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow, I think. Or
it comes out tomorrow?
Terrible timing.
Friday or
tomorrow?
tomorrow?
It comes out like tomorrow. I think the 10th, right?
Oh, well.
Isn't it the 10th?
I mean, at the moment, I'm playing EDF World Brothers or whatever it's called. So
yeah.
For the guys that in the chat, I do not think we're going to get any Remake 2 info. No, they're going to be all about 16 next. It's
what
is
is Integrate?
16 for a while.
It's
Integrate is the Yuffie DLC.
Yeah. For Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh,
it's basically the like epilogue side story thing that they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
We'll have to get Max on here again and go to the 10,000 IQ thing, whatever that means.
Oh, yes. So Yuffie is actually Sephiroth's sister.
Yeah. If that came from Max's mouth, I would not be surprised. I don't know. Do you think we see anything 16? Do you think?
Maybe a little.
Because I don't know. I feel like Yoshida is working on 14. I don't know if he can do both at once at the moment because they're launching Endwalker in November. And with 16 being like something that he seems to be pretty heavily involved in, regardless of if he only says he's producing, his chat will probably mention 1 billion times in the next 5 seconds. That's still a lot. He still wants to like make sure his baby is working and is doing well. So
if even if it's in production, getting to the point where they can run a trailer would need his involvement. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Rumor mill stuff out 2 days ago.
Okay.
Square Enix 2021 press conference may not feature any big Final Fantasy series news, according to rumors circulating online. Reset ERA forums member Sauce Liquid, whose information has been verified by the forum's administration team, suggested that no info on upcoming entries in the series will be revealed during the press conference that will be held later this week on June 13th.
So later that day, I covered that on JPNN because I read that same thing. Later that day, he also said, it depends what you decide big is. So there might be something Final Fantasy related. Just maybe not big news. Because I read they made
another small trailer or something. Then.
Yeah, maybe that Origin stuff. But I would consider if that Origin stuff is there, that's big. I don't know. What were we saying, Rami?
No, chat, that's not what she said.
Oh my god. Can you, Jesus. Can you imagine working on Final Fantasy, like any Final Fantasy game, and you have like your big trailer ready, and then your boss goes out and says like, "There's no big news." You're just doing this big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I could.
I've spent 2.5 months on this.
Yeah, this is my life.
This is my opus.
There's I'm trying to find the blurb about restreaming this, only because I want to give it attention, because I hope other companies do what Square is doing around this. It has to do with DMCA stuff, but I'm trying to find the specifics of what it actually is. Okay, so Kat Carson's on Twitter, who is the Senior Influence Relations Manager for Square Enix Europe, said, excited to add that we're doing a DMC safe version of the Square Enix Present stream for creators as well. For those that would like to co-stream, I'll share the link ahead of time so you can have it for Sunday. Please feel free to share that with other creators and keep an eye out for emails, tweets with the link. For those that worried about doing co-streams, this should help. And that version will have reworked or removed licensed music. Primarily, that's most likely for the Life is Strange segment, as they love to use licensed music in that game. But as a streamer, that's fantastic. I love.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's awesome that they are going that extra step, because they don't have to. They could say, "Go fuck yourselves," and that would be perfectly industry standard, right? To just play copyrighted music across that thing. But the fact that they are going that extra step deserves to be mentioned. So very good on them with Square Enix. That's the Square Enix show. There's the PC gaming show happening Sunday as well. At 5:30 p.m., it'll be the Drop Frames crew plus Dan's Gaming. Co might be a little bit late for that. Maybe not. There's some scheduling stuff, but we'll just find out then. Day 9 is once again hosting. It's sponsored by Intel, and they have a game sponsor. I think it's MechWarrior 5 is also a sponsor for the PC gaming show this year. Yeah, it's from space. Is what Sean's hosting it out of, like a space control panel deal. How do we feel about the PC gaming show? I feel like it started out strong, and Sean kind of carries that show, but there's not usually like any super big stuff coming out of that. But it's still fun to watch because Sean's like good at his job. I don't. I
feel the same way about the PC gaming show as the Guerrilla Collective.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a catch-all. There's a lot of times stuff that you'd never be able to see in the big shows. That is cool stuff to see or cool stuff to play. And kind of like Rami said, it's stuff that they don't know is going to be big, so it may not get the spotlight. But at the same time, there's some really great stuff that comes out of that show. Yeah. So, no, I always, just like the new Guerrilla Collective stuff, I always look forward to the PC gaming show. And the fact that Day 9 hosted is just like a massive added bonus. But also the format of that show is really cool too, because it's just like good host clip, good host clip, good host clip, good host clip. And they put so many little things in there a lot of times. So it's always a fun show to watch.
Yep.
Honestly, the PC gaming show is my favorite. It's consistently the one I enjoy the most every year, because they have it's more opportunity to see brand new shit, like brand new IPs and stuff, rather than like sequels and offshoots and blah blah blah.
Yeah, makes sense. PC Gamer has revealed some of the lineup for this. This is the first time I'm seeing this article, including the fact that Valve will be making an appearance at the show. It's not clear.
Stuff on the next Half-Life Alyx entry.
Yeah, it's not clear what Valve will show. With PC Gamer listing them as a quote, a message from Valve regarding Steam.
They're gonna go on stage. They're gonna go on stage, flip us off as developers, and go like 30%, y'all. You're gonna pay us 30%, and then just walk off stage again. I don't fucking know.
What?
My patience with Valve is running out.
So that
Just out of curiosity, Rami, what would you do if they walked out on stage and said that they were lowering the cut?
Like that's the thing. This is not the show to do that, but we're at the point where it's almost unacceptable that they're not.
Yeah.
Like everybody is lowering cuts, and they've lowered cuts for the biggest earners. It's like, how do you get it the wrong way around? Like, how did you manage to not understand that the point is that we want small developers who are doing interesting work to make money,
Rami,
and that we don't care whether the AAA makes $1 million.
They got it wrong because the AAAs are the ones that actually drive business to them. The little guys don't.
Drive business. Right.
Yeah, tell that to the Valheim devs. Okay.
Right.
They're not the little guys anymore. Unfortunately, they were.
Well, the worst part is though, that's probably how they justify keeping it as high as they did, or they do for the small guys. Because it's like now we can when a small dude explodes, we get 30% of that 5 million, 6 million copies they're up to sold now.
Yep.
Like,
right.
think about how much money Valve made off those devs. My lord,
Valve
dude.
makes a ridiculous amount of money, like just sitting around, not fixing
devs.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, the main thing, if it's a message about Steam, I think they're now in enough trouble. There's a lawsuit a class action lawsuit against them. They're getting mentioned in like other lawsuits around this. Like the sort of government hammer is coming down on the games industry, right? The legal hammer is coming down on the games industry. Everybody in the industry is feeling it. I think they have to make a move at some point. I just don't know if that's this, but. Yeah. There'll be news. There'll be news about Steam, and then they'll fart on our faces as walking off stage.
Sure.
So, with that in mind, what do you guys think this announcement actually is?
So that's the Steam Pal was a thing that got not necessarily leaked, but I think they like found that name in a couple of Steam files or something like that. Through Steam source code is where it was found. Apparently, it is a handheld system. So that may be announced here, is that Valve is once again getting back into the hardware game because the last times they did went so well. So I guess we'll have to see.
My Steam box caught on fire.
Yeah.
And it's still, it's remarkable. I plugged it in and just smoke came out. I'm like, well, I'll stick to software. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I guess you guys, Chad is right. The Index is a, potentially the premier VR headset. So that is true. They had two flounders, then they had that. So can't discredit them too much. But yeah, it could be that. Most likely will be that. What else have they said will be there? It's a 90-minute. PCGamer.com is saying it's a 90-minute more concentrated event. A bright moment focused just on PC gaming and plentiful activity of E3. During that duration, we've packed as many great trailers as possible. A total of 39 new video games, game announcements, and interviews will make up this year's broadcast. Here's a preview of what you will see. Is this the Sean? Yeah, this is the Sean trailer. It's just Sean. it's just Sean talking in his control room. That's all it is. And he says space and puts his hands up. If you've seen my Twitter, that's where that's from.
Here's what you will see, and it's a video of Sean. I kind of love how blatant that is.
Okay, they actually do have a pretty big list here. I will read through this as fast as I can. Exclusive content along with beta and launch information from Naraka Blade Point. Techland will be showing Dying Light 2 Stay Human and giving the first in-depth look at the main character Aiden and its internal motivation alongside revealing more Dying Light 2 Stay Human universe. First reveal of a new game from Casado Games and Bulwark Studios. Big news from the Orcs Must Die franchise. New content from the New Blood Interactive. New gameplay for Hello Neighbor 2. New modes revealed for Ramen. And a world premiere of a new game from Tiny Build. New announcement from...
premiere.
Thank you. A new announcement from Pixelated Milk. A reveal of the next game from Shiro Games. Sega and Amplitude Studios will have a major announcement and reveal for the highly anticipated strategy game Humankind. Exclusive content from All In Games and Chernobylite. An announcement from EVE Online. A new Chivalry 2 announcement from Torn Banner Studios. Nacon and Big Bad Wolf are showing a brand new trailer for Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not two.
Oh,
yeah,
Dash
that's a
Swan
thing.
Song. What? Yeah, okay. I forgot
that's a different
thing. Yeah. Okay, moving along. An exclusive offer from GeForce Now, NVIDIA's cloud gaming service, other exciting unrevealed games, and a message from Valve regarding They have clarified, I guess. It says a message from Valve regarding Steam Next Fest.
Ah.
Is that what is Steam Next Fest?
Is that their demo thing?
A multi-day celebration of games.
Right. It's basically when they tell all the developers to put demos up so that people can play our games for free, and then Steam can make more money off it when they come out.
Oh,
gotcha.
Sounds great for Steam.
Yeah.
Yes.
The PC gaming show will also include exciting new content from Frontier and Frontier Foundry, Fellow Traveler, Tripwire Interactive, Humble Games, Ishtar Games, and Alawar Games.
Oh God, Siri.
Oh, I thought you were talking to like
Siri.
You just triggered my outro, and it's blaring in my ears.
Nice. So that's PC Gaming Show. That's happening Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. There's the Future Gaming Show happening after that on Twitch at 7 p.m. I have no idea what's going to be shown there, but I'll probably check that out. Sunday's going to be very busy day. Monday is filled with just a ton of random showcases. Verizon and Television, Take-Two Interactive, Mythical Games, Indie Showcase, Vin, Capcom.
Wait,
Razer.
I'm sorry. Did you say in television?
Yeah, and Television is doing something for 30 minutes. I think all this stuff will be on the official E3 stream, I guess. And then Tuesday morning will be the Nintendo stuff. We'll circle back to that in just a sec. Bandai Namco is also on Tuesday afternoon. And then also the E3 2021 Awards Show is happening Tuesday evening at 7:45 p.m. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna watch it. I guess
they're trying to pull a Jeff Keighley and make an award show.
I think so. I think that's
when was that award show?
7:45 on Tuesday.
AM or PM?
Eastern. PM.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a solo coverage for me.
We'll see.
Circling back to Nintendo Direct.
JP, that's my head chopping time. That's my chivalry time.
Oh, I got you.
I don't know about that.
You don't want to watch an award show around games? God, who are you?
I got heads to chop.
For the Nintendo Direct, it'll be me, Elspeth, Luxie, and Rami. We'll be covering that. Rami, in the 3 minutes that we have, what do you expect from Nintendo?
Well, I mean, the main, I would like to just hear more Zelda stuff, but mostly because it would make the girlfriend very happy, and then that's always fun. So, I mean, Nintendo for me, like I'm the same year over year with Nintendo. I would like to see Advance Wars, I would like to see Golden Sun, and I would like to see Zelda. Like that's
sure.
It. I like Metroid. I like all the other Sun. I just want Golden Sun. I want Golden Sun. What the fuck happened to Golden Sun? What the fuck happened to Golden Sun? Let's be honest. Like that was a good RPG. It was a good RPG. Two like defining Game Boy Advance games. They did a sequel that was not good, and then they just went like, "Well, I guess it's dead now." And just walked the fuck away. Like they have the Switch. Put out Golden Sun. I don't care. Put out the first two games as a bundle again. More Golden Sun. I don't get it. You know that I actually yelled at Nintendo on every social media that they should let me make a Golden Sun, and I'm still waiting for a reply to that.
I think that's where they do most of their business is through Twitter.
It's Twitter, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, they're known for their openness.
They do a lot of deals with the Smash community there with, letting them know which character is going to be next and what character they demand and all that stuff.
And Advance Wars. I just want another Advance Wars. Like, I'd be really honest. Like, Advance Wars was incredible. I would like to see more of that. There's actually a little bit of a rumor that there might be something Advance Wars related, but I don't think it's true.
I'm looking through my list of potential stuff. I think you got to show Zelda at this point. I think in a lot of ways you have to show Metroid just to show that thing exists at this point, kind of like Zelda as well. There's a handful of rumors.
Have they said they're making for sure a Metroid?
They said that they were working on a Metroid game, and then I think they stated that they had to restart development on it because they scrapped everything. And that was a year or two ago, I think. I thought maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not sure. I think they're working on it at some point. What else is there? Fire Emblem rumor. There's some other rumors about Xenoblade Chronicles. Different stuff. It's they came out and said that it will be a 40-minute Nintendo Direct focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch hardware. They had to state that because everyone was fucking losing their mind over this idea of a Nintendo Switch Pro, which at this point the internet is going to will that into existence.
You mean software, right?
Yes,
not hardware.
Yeah. Sorry,
it's exclusively
on software. Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
I was like, whoa, that is some news that I was not aware of.
No, I misspoke. Yeah, okay. Exclusively on software. Mostly releasing in 2021. And then they are doing 3 hours of gameplay after that in the Nintendo Treehouse Live. That Mario Golf thing will probably show up in there at some point, and that will probably be a decent amount of time devoted to that from the Treehouse live stream, because that ships like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. On the
I
25th.
like Mario sports games.
Yeah,
Mario Tennis was the best game.
You want to join us?
You
want to join us later this month for our golf classic part 2?
You're gonna do them.
We're serious.
I might actually. That actually sounds great.
Yeah, well, you're more than welcome to.
The official Drop Frames Open is returning.
Yeah, it's back.
Back on the links.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
Are we planning on doing it just the Wednesday following the release?
Yeah, the 30th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I had penciled in. So the 30th. If you're down, Rami.
I think I fly on the 30th. I'll have to see what that looks like.
That sounds like an excuse.
I actually move on the 29th, so I will do my absolute.
All right, we're doing it the following week on.
I might be okay. I think my computer and stuff is gonna be staying here for a while, so I think I might be okay. But we'll see.
Moving is the most stressful thing a human can do. Regardless of who you are, I would not make someone be like, all right, you got to get committed, dude. I know you're moving the day prior here, but
I will do my best.
But do you have time for some golf?
You want to golf, bro?
Golf?
You got some time for some golf?
I may need the relaxation, to be honest. Maybe that's all I'll do that day.
Oh.
Just get some beers and play golf, and then like.
I mean, look, I can think of no more relaxing of a event than just hearing Zeke scream at the top of his lungs for 3 hours in rage, if I'm honest. So
he hits the ball, he's just like, why?
It's honestly reassuring, honestly. Like
Yeah.
it just everything is right with the world. When Zeke gets quiet, that's when I get worried.
yes. That is also
like the calm before the storm.
I think me and Zeke are
literally
both the
and
same.
figuratively.
As long as me and Zeke are yelling, we're fine. It's when we get quiet and you know that we're upset. That's when it gets bad. That's when you don't want to be around. It's bad time.
Yeah.
So
that's how nature says don't touch. You know,
Yes.
like that's when we're the blowfish all expanded completely out. Like
yes, accurate. Accurate. 100%. And that is our Drop Frames pre-E3 show. PE3 show. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. If you want to get caught up or see what the time is on any of that, or have any question on who's going to be covering what and when, jpedia.net, just go to the drop or the 2021 gaming events tab. Should be the third one at the bottom. It's got everything listed out there with all the times, all the links, all that stuff. And we'll be there tomorrow with the kickoff live event happening at 2 p.m. Eastern with Jesse Cox. He'll be joining us on that as well.
Why is Koch not doing Koch Media? I'm just very upset.
I'll ask him tomorrow. He might, Cox on Koch.
You might not know this, Rami, but there is such a thing as too much cock.
There is?
Second he started talking, I knew it was coming.
Same. It was it's like a train just like headed straight for you, and you can't move out of the way anymore.
I just wonder what like the YouTube algorithm would do with the video titled Cox on Cock. Like, how does that? What do they do? Right? And it's just Jesse Cox with that GIF. If you Google Jesse Cox, the GIF will come up where he's smiling. You use that GIF and the thumbnail, and you put the Koch Media logo next to it, and it's Cox on Cock. That
I would think it better would be Cox talks cock.
Is there any way we could somehow include a rooster?
I could get him one. I think you can just order a rooster on Amazon these days. Probably. You're the one with farm animals. How do we get a rooster?
I'll ship him one.
Okay. I think Jesse does have a show called. Yeah, he pokes some holes in it. It'll be fun. Mm-hmm. In a lot of ways, it'd be more fucked up, and depending on who you are, might even be more funny if. I'm not going to finish that joke. Let's do some shout.
No, I was going to say, let's go to the next sentence, JP. Like, there's.
Rami, do some shout outs. What's going on?
I have no idea anymore. E3 is happening. I think. I hope. Maybe. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks, like as always, an absolute pleasure. I had a great time. You can find me on Twitter, @THA_Rami. I make video games, play video games, and I build beautiful Lego sets.
You son of a bitch.
Don't do that on Twitter. Just wanted to hold this here, JP. I hope one day you get this. It's beautiful. Such a lovely, incredible build. Mm-hmm. Look at how good it is.
It's pretty good. Oof. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Zeke, do some shout outs.
Oh, he was done. Okay. What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching. Thanks
forever.
Thanks to Rami for being on the show, man. It's always a fucking treat to have you here. Thanks, Ko and JP, for being the co-host. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me @Ezekiel_II, just like it's spelled right there. I'm not going to be streaming after the show today. I'm going to take the rest of the day off because I got stuff to do, and I'm actually like playing Celeste on my own time, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So
nice,
dude. Yeah,
nice.
And I'm glad I'm not streaming it because because I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, and the first battle took me, I want to say, probably 7 or 8 goes at it to get it done. Just the very first actual battle. Anyway, so if you want to catch me, I'll be on. Well, I mean, I don't fucking know what I'm doing this week besides E3. I don't know if I'm gonna be peppering in a personal stream here and there. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who cares? Just follow my Twitter and I'll tell you when I'm going live. All right. Thanks.
There you go. Ko, do some shout outs.
Absolutely. As always, a huge thanks to JP and Zeke, and a special thank you to the Rami for being here. We really appreciate it. My name is Ko. Hi, if you don't know me. I'm going to be back at 6:30 p.m. tonight in about 2.5 hours. My EU friends, time zones are the worst. For some Chivalry 2, going to be doing that this evening. Tomorrow, I'm here for like an hour. Probably going to do either some Last Spell or maybe some Shiv, just hang out for a little bit. And then I'm off until the show doing some new house stuff. I'm meeting some people out there. Then, of course, tomorrow at 2, we start the E3 experience. All throughout the weekend, I'm probably going to be doing random games here and there between the shows. I'm on most of the shows, not all of them, but most of them. So I will see you guys for those. And hope to see you there for them. Should be a lot of fun. And as always, thank you guys for watching.
Cool. We got a ton of E3 stuff happening. Anything that we don't cover as a crew, I'll be doing JPNN coverage of it. And there is a lot. So it's going to be pretty long, busy days over the next couple of days, all the way till the end of Tuesday. I'll say it again, jpedia.net should be a great place, a great resource to use over the next couple of days because of all the schedule stuff that the mods have made. Huge shout out to the mods for creating everything in that document. And if you want kind of a daily news source, you can check out JPNN either at the start of every stream, or you can find the VOD over at youtube.com/itmeJP. Rami, thank you so much for coming on. And I hate you.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Also, if the rooster was dead. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Drop Frames. We'll see you guys tomorrow for, what is it? The kickoff live show, Summer Game Fest, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's when we're starting. We hope to see you there, and we hope Elden Ring is there as well, among other things. We'll see how it goes.
Among Us? Oh, no.
Among Us will be there. They've said that. I just didn't care to say that because we don't play that. Anyways, we're out. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. Put it down, Rami. Put the fucking thing down.